The first 25 years of the 21st century have passed, and we're taking a look at the roller coaster of emotions and games put out by Sega from 2001 to 2025. What is the list of nominees for a hypothetical SEGA Game of the Quarter Century Award? The whole lounge crew is here to talk about that, so strap on, it's gonna be a wild one. Hello and welcome to the Sega Lounge. This is the podcast that's all about Sega, the games, the music, the community, and everything in between. And when I say games, I really do mean games this week. My name's Casey, I'm your host, and I'm joined by a panel of amazing guests, friends of the show. We have the whole crew here this week. We have all four people here. So we have myself returning, very special guest,
Yay!
Mr. James Skill Jim Brown. Hello. Hello, James.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's been a while, but
It does actually.
was for a
Yeah.
good cause. You were moving to another
I
country.
wonder if people were missing me. No.
I was missing you. Please come back.
Oh,
Of course we were missing you.
Viper resumed, had to assume duties of resident
I
Skill
think he
Jim
did
here.
a better job actually. I'm surprised you even
Wait,
wanted
wait.
me to come back.
Wait till the episode that comes out last week comes out. As this is
Okay.
airing.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's, yeah,
You still
People-
made it to this one then, Viper.
exactly.
So you must have done something right.
We also
still
have
here.
Lime Reserved. Lime Reserved. Lime Reversed. Lime Reserved. Are you reserved? I don't know why
Doesn't
my
matter,
brain
innit?
just reserved.
Apparently,
You're
apparently
reserved
I'm
for the
very-
next 5 hours.
apparently I'm very reserved right now. Yeah.
We booked you for the next 5 hours.
Since,
Made a
since obviously
reservation.
you don't know my name, then that gives me a reason to be reserved.
Okay. That's also a good one. Yeah.
It's fine.
How are you?
I'm good. I am good.
Excellent. And finally, we have Mr. Green Viper 8. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hope you're feeling better. Yeah.
I hope I am too, because we've got a long episode if I'm not.
Yeah, but so for people watching this after last week's show who are concerned, you're good. You're here, you're well, you're better.
I made
So
it.
am I as well. So yeah, we're better. Yes?
Yippee.
Yes? Yes? I think so.
Touch
I'm a little
wood.
bit I'm a bit pain, but okay.
Yeah. You're there in the flesh. Yes.
Yes, it's me. It's me.
Very
Yeah.
fleshy. Yeah.
Very fleshy. Yeah. And I got all dressed up for Sega, just like Jim, right?
I just
Yeah.
generally got dressed up.
I wanted it to be
I also got
fully.
I didn't get Sega dressed up, but I did dress up for a show that I attended earlier today and just got home from. So.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's nice. So
I'm
we
wearing
all
this
have
shirt.
clothes on. It's what we're saying. Okay, so it's okay. Don't worry. We're all fully
So
clothed.
no need to ask us what we're wearing.
Yeah, we're all fully clothed. So relax. We're here today, guys, and this is the first of very two special episodes, or very special 2 episodes, I guess, of this show. The last few episodes of the season, and this is one of those crazy ideas that I have sometimes. We've done top 34 Sonic games this year. We've done things like what if Sega characters had side jobs or proper jobs or whatever. We've done other crazy stuff. This week, we're doing our nominees for top Sega game of the quarter century. Why? First of all, because why not? Also, we're coming to the end of 2025. So the first 25 years of this century are gone. I know, crazy. We're getting older. And that means people have been starting to talk about game of the century, which is, I think, too early for that. We've still got 3/4 of a century to go, so hold off on that. But we can talk about
Strap in.
yeah, hopefully we still have 3/4 of a century to go. Hopefully, But
then we can talk about the best game of the century when that happens.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the
on
plan, right?
the Sega Lounge season like 82. But now it's a good time to talk about the best Sega games of these past 25 years, right? This is not supposed to be like a list, a top. It's a list, but it's not a top. It's not in order of preference. It's not in order of which ones we think are the best or not. It's just we each made a list of our 10 personal picks in chronological order, right? And this will serve as a kind of a list of nominees if we were to have a vote, people voting for their favorite game of the past 25 years. Yeah, good. We're all understood, right? Yeah, we are because we talked about this in advance. But hopefully people who are watching this are also understood. This is a good time to explain that we're going to talk a little bit about each of these games. It's a list of 27 games that we all came up with together. If you have other nominees, if you have things to say about the ones we picked, if you think we are completely wrong, which is not possible, you can tell us in the comments or like talk to us on socials and let us know which picks you would make, which would be like your top 10 nominees for best Sega game of the quarter century. Okay. Yeah. Before we get into the proper list, any honorable mentions, guys, that didn't make it to your final like 10? I know you, Jim, had a couple.
Yeah, well, I got a couple. I think we're using one of them though, but the other one that I was going to mention actually, which might come as a surprise to some people, I suppose, is Fantasy Star Universe. So, spoiler: I've got Fantasy Star Online on my list. So this is this is why this particular game is an honorable mention, because obviously it's not as good, but when it came out, actually, I really enjoyed it. I played mainly the single player. I don't know, maybe I was slightly disappointed at first that it didn't sort of follow the same kind of style as Fantasy Star Online, but I like that it kind of had its own style in terms of feeling like an anime show. So after you do the first mission, it's got like a typical kind of theme song, title screen, introducing Fantasy Star Universe as though it's like a show. It's amazing. And then it says like, oh, next episode, this is going to happen. And it shows like a spoilery moment from that episode. And then you kind of want to jump straight into the next level, actually. And then you play through that. And then it starts with the introduction. So it's got that kind of like, it's been designed like an anime show, which I thought was really cool at the time. I was just kind of getting into anime at the time, like Outlaw Star and Cowboy Bebop. And so I appreciated that style of it. And then obviously the gameplay is not quite as good as Fantasy Star Online, but it still retains that sort of rhythmatic pressing of buttons to attack. And I quite enjoyed the story as well, actually. Elliot was his name? I can't remember, actually. I probably should have known that. I'm sure it begins with an E.
I can't remember much about I know I played it on the 360. I don't remember much about it. I know I liked it, but I can't remember much about it, if that makes sense.
And the music theme,
that I remember.
So good.
Yes,
like,
it is.
Ooh, hear it heart again on the moment. I think we should. It's on the same. What's it? Do it's Fanstar Shivers, something like that. That's how I remember it. I know it's in Japanese, maybe some bits, but that's how I remember it.
That's a great rendition.
Beats the battle for free ham for sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys played it?
Yeah.
Am I alone in this?
No? I've also not played it. It's on the pile. Like, I bought it a while ago and I've gone, maybe one day that'll be fun, because no one ever talks about it in relation to PSOs always like eclipse it. So I thought it's interesting on that basis, just the fact it isn't PSO almost, but I can't say I know much about it beyond the music, which once again, great rendition. Jim sings back
Yes.
back in full force.
So another CD coming of
Why not, eh?
yeah.
My
That's what I call
Japanglish version of
that's what I call
Fantasy Star Universe.
Jim's poetry corner, whatever. Yeah.
Sings Fantasy Star Universe
Yes.
very, very badly.
I
2026.
have a problem with Fantasy Star Universe. So I a problem with the game, the disc itself. I was trying to play it like last year or whatever. I have the 360 disc, but unfortunately, my 360 like, got completely fried, and so it's not backwards compatible. I think on the Xbox One.
No.
So
Sadly.
I have the disc. I wanted to play it again last year because I thought about it. It's a game that I enjoyed. Wanted to remember it, but nope. Sadly, not going to happen. At least for
Sort it
now.
out, Microsoft.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
of course.
Kind of surprised me, actually. Surprises me that like none of you three have even experienced the game. Then
I
Shame.
have experienced it, but just don't
Experienced
remember
it.
much about it.
Okay.
I think I actually completed it as well, which is
What an experience.
even worse. But okay,
okay.
yeah, certainly left a mark. Maybe not. Maybe not.
And that's why it's an honorable mention.
Okay, yeah. Okay, what's your other honorable mention, Jim?
If it's not in the list, then I would assume you're talking about Ghost Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which I loved in the actual arcades when it first released. It was like one of those exciting arcade games that came out where you could get a little card. So I remember going to 10-pin bowling in England, of course, and the guy actually gave out these cards to you randomly. I'd like obviously they must have been excited about this arcade machine as well. So you didn't have to pay for the card, but it gave it. Am I saying too much?
So
I was trying to get it to zoom out.
For people listening, watch the video version because like the camera is
It's
like
like a
randomly
gesture thing, I
zoomed
think.
in on Jim.
It must be like.
What? So no one did that? It just happened?
No. Apparently not.
I think that was a gesture thing. It must be programmed to do. Yeah.
Ah.
The robots are watching.
My camera has
So
that
this
too.
card, let me continue about this card that I'm going about. So you shove it in the machine, you play Ghost Squad, so it's like a machine gun based game. You're going around. There's actually some like shooting QT type things in there as well. But the gameplay is actually really nice, smooth, fast paced. I like the feel of the gun. The graphics are nice. And then at the end of the stage, you earn experience points. And then you can actually level up your character. You can put your points into like, I don't know, attack or something. And then occasionally you'll unlock a gun. And then the card will come back out. And if I'm thinking right, there's like some stars that get drawn onto the card. So you can see your progress on the card. So the next time you go back to the arcade, you can put the card back in and progress even more. So it was a really novel idea for an arcade machine at the time. And then obviously it came to the Wii, and it wasn't as good motion-wise. Didn't feel quite as perfect as it did in the arcade, but I still enjoyed it. And then obviously with the Wii version, you didn't have to keep putting pound coins in to progress your character. You could just play and increase your stuff. And I think they did a second release in the arcades called Ghost Squad Evolution, where they sort of dropped the card idea, I think, and just everything was unlocked from the start. Something like that. I might be making that up, but that's my vague memory of that.
Okay. That's kind of like what they said would happen with the VMU, right? In the arcades.
Yeah.
With certain games you had the game on
Ferrari
your
F355,
Dreamcast.
was it?
Yeah, like Virtua
Yeah.
Tennis as well. I think was supposed to have that, but I never experienced that in the arcades here. I don't. You probably had to enable something, or you had to like have a specific model of the arcade machine for that to
Yeah.
work. Never
Only-
saw that anywhere.
Only game I can ever think of that really I've actually seen that with is Sega Game again, F-Zero GX and AX. Seen the cabinet,
really?
but because we had so few AX cabinets put overseas, most of them are Japanese, therefore doesn't actually work on the save file. So
Okay.
ran into that one when I was like, oh yes, can unlock the machines finally. Put the memory card in, doesn't read it because different file format or whatever, I guess. Gutting.
Okay.
It's such a cool idea. I wish they'd done more of it.
Mm.
But
I do
really
remember
not.
some other
Yeah.
arcade machines. They had like Maximum Tune. Don't know if anyone knows that car
Yeah.
game. That was very exciting at the time because that came with a card. But again, it was one of those where every single race cost you £1, but you did like level up your car. You got like better car parts. So that was quite neat. But yeah, Ghost Squad. I really enjoyed the stage design as well. So like the first one, you sort of infiltrate in a house, and then I think the second stage is like an airplane, and then the third stage is like the jungle, and then there might be a fourth bonus stage, but it's like very typical Sega arcade like gun shooter. And if you haven't experienced it, I would definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorites. Unfortunately, there was one game that topped it, which is why it's not on the main list.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So those are your honorable mentions. Any honorable mentions? Viper, Lime?
no, I
No,
don't think
that
so.
didn't make a list. Okay.
I
Yeah.
looked through my list and I figured I kind of want to mention the murder of Sonic.
Okay.
It was
Ooh.
like such an iconic thing. I feel like it's a special thing, at least to do. So, and I don't know. Like, speaking of games that stand out, like, or has stood out during this quarter century, then yeah, I would like to have mentioned that.
Okay. Yeah.
Too late.
No,
You
not too
Heidi
late. You
Viper.
can mention it now. Yeah.
I just
you've
mentioned
just
it.
On your
mentioned it.
list.
You've just mentioned it, but not on the list. No. Okay. I have one honorable mention, and it's Binary Domain. And I was
Nice.
thinking of adding this to the list, but I try to be so I think for me I try to be as objective as possible. I always try to do this with these kinds of episodes. Not that I can 100% achieve that, but I try. I try to think of like how impactful the game was. Obviously, I have to like it and have to have played it also. I love Binary Domain. It's one of my favorite games of all time, I guess. It came out in 2012, sorry, and it's a Ryuga Gotoku Studio game, right before it was called that. So it's like it's like Nagoshi was behind this as well as like the Yakuza team. It's a third person shooter. It has a very interesting story because you follow the Rust crew, a team of people who are fighting robots. The world is a different place. I think it's set in like 2080 or whatever. And it's got a few interesting plot twists along the way. It's really cool in terms of like gameplay. It's like tight, and it's got like a buddy system, which you pick another character to play with you to like advance through the levels with you. You have like a partner, and you can use the microphone if you have one on your system to
There it
like
is. I
like
was waiting for that.
yell commands. It works.
It was made to connect. Make of that what you will.
Yeah. It works. But you can just use your controller. There are some prompts using I think probably the D-pad or whatever, and you can ask your partner to just like hold off, like attack or whatever, protect you. It's like a little cool little system. Not the best thing about the game, but interesting nonetheless. I think that my favorite thing, apart from the gameplay, is the story. It's got a really cool story that, like, at the time blew my mind because you're not expecting something that happens like deep into the game. Is like I don't want to spoil it, so if you guys want to play that, I don't know if any of you played it like properly.
Not yet.
No. It's not available.
I played-
It's all available on PC as well now. So
Yeah, I played the start up until
Mm-hmm.
like there's the bit where you're sliding down the big water.
Yeah.
I want to say waterfall, but it's not really. It's like a slope thing.
it's like a dam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably like my last memory.
that's Japan, I believe. but I'm not. I think it's like Future Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, and it got a I think a re-release on Steam
I think
in around 2020, I guess.
I think it came out on Steam at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it? Oh, maybe. Maybe
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think it's
yeah.
just it's one of those games that they regularly just make free. Like I think I got it for
Okay.
completely free. And
I
like
think so
I know
too.
it's in almost every sale. Like what was that one back in the day? Like Make Love Not War, Make War Not Love or something. I think they gave it away completely free.
Okay.
They just used to do stuff like that.
It's
they still do, to be fair.
It's currently 80% off on Steam.
Yeah.
You can get it for €3, or
Well,
with like the all the content, €3.20. So that's like, I don't know, £2. Yeah, I guess $2.50. I don't know.
I'm waiting for it to come out of sale before I buy it.
Good job.
So
Yeah.
never.
To support Sega, obviously, yes. Give them all your money.
Yeah, for sure.
really want Nagoshi to make a new binary domain, so I'm going to give them all this money.
Yes. Okay, so those are our honorable mentions, and now we're going to get into the list. The proper thing,
Cool.
right? So I'm going to share my screen here. You guys can see what's happening as we unveil all the games. They're going to be shown in chronological order, by the way. So not order of preference. And within the same year, I guess, alphabetical order, just to make it like easier. So the first one is 2001's Phantasy Star Online. Jim, tell us a little bit about this, because this was one of your picks, please.
Yeah, so obviously I've just been talking about Phantasy Star Universe, but this was the game that superseded it. This is like the first Phantasy Star game I played, actually, because I didn't actually play the 2D turn-based games back in the day. And also potentially the very first online RPG I played. And it kind of blew me away at the time that I could connect to people online for, what was it, a penny a minute, and absolutely destroy my parents' phone line bill. But some of the interactions that I had with like other people was so fresh and new to me. Like this was the coming of age for the internet and being able to play with people online. And the game is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I often played it alone. So like when I took my Dreamcast from my nan's house, obviously she didn't have the internet. I don't think she ever had the internet, actually, even in like, the later years. Not to get depressing, but yeah, I don't think she ever had the internet. So I always played this game in single player and still really enjoyed it. I know there's only like 4 stages, but what's that term that you can use to sort of say that it's like auto generated? There's like a special phrase for that. But every time you play this, the stage, exactly, yeah. Every time you play, like the stages are slightly different, or there's like crates in different places, different enemies spawn here and there. So it was always kind of a fresh kind of game that you're playing, even though like the areas are typically the same. But you've got like the forest, you've got the mines, you've got the caves, and you've got one more that I can't think of at the top of the head.
The most memorable.
It's going to bug me.
Obviously,
it's going to bug me. Yeah. But anyway, so the gameplay is fantastic. You've got that rhythm-based thing, which again was kind of new to me at the time. I'd never actually played a game where you couldn't just button bash. You had to rhythmically pressure attacks, and the addictiveness to it is that leveling up, wanting to get to the next level, wanting to get a better weapon, comparing all the stats, going to the shops, selling this, selling that, collecting the monomates to go back out, take with you, and the scape doll or whatever, just to make sure that you could continue if you died. And then finally getting to that end boss, and I forget his name as well. I should have done a little bit more research to prepare my memory for this show. But that epic fight is insane.
Dark
where it's like a
Falls or
2-phase
whatever?
boss. Yeah, it
Usually-
is.
it usually-
Dark Falls.
something like that.
Yeah. So you've got like that 2-phase epic battle, and you and a party of like randomers online taking that down was probably like the best feeling I had as a child. In the 2001s.
Yeah, child,
So,
2001, maybe.
2001.
Probably more
Oh, and
teenager?
also actually,
Yeah.
I'll make a little point here because I can see it on the box art, but it came with a demo for Sonic Adventure 2,
Yes.
which was extremely exciting at the time because like Sonic Adventure 1 at that point was my favorite game of all time that I'd ever played. It like that game blew me away, which I think we should be talking. Oh no, we can't, can we? Because that came a little bit earlier.
Too early.
So yeah, otherwise that would be in the list, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, so to clarify, our list goes from 2001 to 2025 because that's how you actually count the years of a century. People sometimes think, "Oh, 2000 is the new millennium." No, it's not. 2001 is the new millennium. Just, like, not to be nitpicky about it, but it is. This is two things about this game. So I didn't put it on my list because I never played it like back in the day, never experienced it, so it wouldn't be fair. But this was a big thing. It was a big deal, right? The first like proper console-based like MMO, right?
Yep.
The one of the best ways to showcase the Dreamcast's online capabilities as well. And I know for many people, one of the first like ways of interacting with other people online, if they had a Dreamcast which was connected to the internet, which mine wasn't. So boo-hoo.
And it worked. Like I don't quite understand how it worked on a 56k modem back in the day, but it worked.
Yeah,
it was even less here, wasn't it? It was like 33.1 or something in Europe.
I think so.
Insane.
I think so. Yeah.
Again, doesn't make sense how that could handle.
What like, sorcery is this?
Sort of streaming the game for other players. Maybe a tiny little bit of like flirting around the screen, some characters, but for the most part, it worked quite well.
Yeah, that's the consensus about this. Yeah. Also, the second thing I wanted to mention is Sega bought a star to promote this game. I saw this earlier, and I thought it was interesting. I didn't know about this. So Sega bought a star and named it Regal, which is the name of one of the planets.
Neat.
Right? They bought a star. I believe they like probably bought the rights to name that star, right? But that's something interesting.
Is that star still in the sky? Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't know.
Is it still there? Did it black hole somewhere? Or?
Yeah, no.
Did it die?
They now own the star, and anyone trying to get energy from that star steals energy from Sega.
Yeah, needs to pay Sega for that. Yeah. Maybe when they bought it, the star was already dead. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That happens, right?
It.
Because you can still see it, but yeah, never mind.
That's why it was so cheap.
Yeah. That's our first game on our list. So let's move on to our second game, which is one of my picks. And interestingly enough, I was the only one who picked this one. I guess I know why I was the only one, but we'll find out later. But it's Shenmue 2. Shenmue 2, also a 2001 game, also a Dreamcast game. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it.
What's this game, Casey?
You can talk about this one, Jim, because you wouldn't know about it, but I'll explain.
Never heard of it.
Skill Jim from the Sonic Adventure Dojo. I'll have you know, thank you.
From the Twinkle game. Park Dojo. Shenmue 2 is the sequel to Shenmue. Oh, shocking, I know.
What?
Yes. And the only way to play this not in Japan, or not in Japanese, I mean, like with English subtitles, was in Europe. The only place to do that was in Europe on the Dreamcast. You had to wait for the Xbox, the OG Xbox release of Shenmue 2 to actually have it elsewhere and with English voices, with an English dub. But I experienced this right after I played Shenmue, because I got into Shenmue a little bit later. And when I finished Shenmue, I just ran to buy Shenmue 2 and experience the sequel. I was a bit disappointed, but I didn't really know at the time why Shenmue 2 didn't have my like my Corey Marshall and others. I was a bit surprised, but I didn't care. It was an amazing game. Objectively speaking, Shenmue 2 is better than Shenmue 1. Even if Shenmue 1 it's probably my favorite of the two. And I explained that many times, including in a recent video you can watch in a bonus episode of the show that you can go listen to. But Shenmue 2 it's bigger in every way. You have like bigger areas. You have more towns to explore. You have Wan Chai, like Hong Kong. You have Kowloon. You have Guilin at the end, which is an amazing final chapter for this game, which is a completely whole different vibe and pace. And it's one of the better parts of the game, I guess. But Shenmue 2 is definitely, if Shenmue 1 was revolutionary in a big budget game, this just like blew everything else out of the water. Shenmue 2. Amazing. Just an amazing sequel. And while Shenmue 1 doesn't really move the story forward that much, Shenmue 2 does in a big way. So, and we all know what happened
Agreed.
after they got stuck in a cave.
They capitalized on its success very quickly, I imagine.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Surely?
yes, that's what happened. They didn't get stuck in a cave for 18 years or anything. No.
We all just aged overnight. It was
Yeah. So
like a prune.
I don't think there's much to say about Shenmue 2. I think it definitely deserves a place on this list.
Yeah.
Do with that what you will. I know Lime experienced this as well, right? But not really this. So I'm gonna ask you about the
Not exactly this, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
We'll
'Cause I
talk
played
about
it on
the other
PC.
one you played. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there. Okay, moving on. See how I'm behaving and not like talking about Shenmue too much.
Yeah.
See how we are behaving and letting you move on?
Yeah. Sonic
we
Adventure 2
creating
is next.
suspense.
Yeah. Sonic Adventure 2 is next. So who picked Sonic Adventure 2? I guess. Yeah. Lime and Viper, right? Yeah. So who wants to go
Predictably,
first?
probably.
It's our third 2001 game. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. So Viper, Lime, Viper. Why? Viper.
Oh, I was
Are
pointing
you
at
raising your hand or
Oh,
are you pointing?
okay.
I can go. Yeah, for me, I tried to narrow down the Sonic franchise. I could have picked so many Sonic games for this one, but this just had to be on the list. I just had so many memories of. I didn't have a Dreamcast, but I played both Sonic Adventure games at a friend's house, and it was just always such a thrill to play Sonic in this kind of 3D with this kind of gameplay. To me, an absolute masterpiece. Maybe could have aged a little better, but I still enjoy playing it today. It was the first game that I 100%ed. And yeah, just
So you unlocked
overall,
Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, indeed.
Great reward.
That was also like I didn't know about that. I just 100%ed it, and I just, oh my god, this is Green Hill Zone. This is so cool. So, yeah.
Viper's like being sarcastic about it, but it really was a great reward back
At
in
the
the
time,
day.
it was very
It
cool,
was.
but-
It was really
Yeah,
cool.
I thought it was
Yeah.
awesome.
In hindsight, a 3-minute stage from 20 hours of work.
That's true, but at the
And some
time,
painful work at that.
yeah, oh for sure. Imagine losing like getting your save file corrupted when you're like 2 emblems away from it or something.
Ugh.
Imagine trying to find the hidden chow without a guide from Game FAQs that you went off back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That I didn't do.
Completely unrelated, but I found something. I found a really cool app. I mean, really cool. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's an app called Pocket Codex that I found out about today. And Pocket Codex does something interesting. So you can actually search for game guides for any game. If they don't have like direct links to it, to the specific game, you can actually they go to game FAQs. You can search for the game there within the app, choose the exact guide you want, and it will download it as a proper file, a proper TXT file for
That's
the
cool.
app. And that allows you to, wherever you are offline, if you're playing a game, instead of like going to your trying to find that, you can just save it on your phone, I guess. And just like I did here with the Shenmue guide. And you can just click it.
Do you need a Shenmue guide?
I guess just to try it
Right.
out. You can just
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
like it's like the TXT file. So yeah, you can just use it. Really, really cool thing that I found out about.
Neat idea.
Yeah.
I'm really sad.
been good.
I was
Unrelated.
looking it up. iOS only. Gutted.
Didn't know that.
Ah.
Apologies. Android
hopes
users. Okay. So, Sonic Adventure 2. Viper, anything to add to what Lime said?
So a lot of my list is like, I really like all the games on my list that's worth mentioning, but I also tried to do it from the, like you say, slightly more objective perspective of games I think that resonate with most people that I feel like have made a big impact. And Sonic Adventure 2, while to a lot of people was like a really weird, divisive game at the time or whatever have you, it's an entire generation's Sonic game, and it's the basis that they used for a long time going forward. Like Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Battle both build heavily off this game, for example. They used it for like multiple years then, and now of course we're seeing it again with the Sonic movie 3 and Sonic Shadow Generations coming back to it. So this is like still an era of Sonic that was defined with this game more so than the first game, which I feel like I prefer. But this game really like was just an entire like subculture onto itself for when it came out. And then when it came to the GameCube, of course, it introduced all of the Nintendo fans, and that massively diversified the Sonic fan base from there on out from what it previously was before. This game and Battle combined, I think, are some of the most important Sonic games, easily like a top 5 in terms of getting new people into the series, and easily like a top 2, honestly, in terms of getting people in, getting eyes on it, and keeping people engaged, because this is still the one that people come back to, I think, when I ask for their favorites and things like that more than anything else. So it's clearly made a good dent on history over the nearly 25 years it's been out now, which it's a little weird to think about, but it's still
It's
still relevant all these years later, like fully 100%, even in spite of the bits that, like Lime said, haven't aged as well. I think the bits that have are really fondly remembered compared to a lot of things that came after it, for example. So I think it's one of the big contenders on the list from what I would say in terms of the public opinion. But
okay.
to play devil's advocate on that, because we all have our favorites, I guess. But
Yeah.
as to what I think other people would pick, I think this would be very highly up there.
Mhm.
And also, Dreamcast Swan Song and all that. We're looking at the label here. This was probably like the last huge American release, wasn't it? Considering we just said Shenmue flat out skipped
Yeah.
Dreamcast in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
This and not much else, right? I
Probably.
think.
It was, and I guess from being impactful, I guess it definitely deserves a spot on this list. It wasn't on my list. That said, if I could have picked one of the adventure games, I would probably go with Adventure 1. But as we already established, it's not eligible because it's before 2001. But I do remember the impact that this made on me when I got it at launch. So it was really, I was really excited about this. After Adventure 1, Adventure 1 brought me back to gaming. After a brief pause, it brought me back to Sonic Adventure 2. I was so excited. And like City Escape was blew my mind. I was amazed by what I was playing. as time went by, like the enthusiasm for Sonic Adventure 2 went down a little bit. Sonic Adventure went up on my list of personal favorites, but I do get the impact of this, and I think everything you said, Viper, I totally agree.
Wow, thanks.
Introduce Shadow as well.
It
You're
is just-
surprised?
yeah.
Wow, Casey agrees with me.
Don't get
Oh.
used to it. Yes. Shadow, Live and Learn. Like you said, Sonic
Yeah.
Movie 3. Yeah. All of that intertwined like makes Sonic Adventure 2 a very important game. Even if you don't
Probably-
really agree with like it being the best Sonic game of all time or whatever. Really important.
Probably like the first game. I know there was a little bit in Sonic Adventure 1, but the first game that actually made Sonic cinematic. Like the
Yeah.
cutscenes and yeah.
And even the story, like it's Sonic 3 did that, or Sonic 3 and Knuckles did that first. And Sonic 2, I guess, we went to space and stuff, but this was on a whole other level. Like
Mhm.
they blew up the moon, or half of it at least. So
That's true. Mm.
I also remember the storytelling being interesting to me. Like you see it's the same story like for every character playthrough, but you see a different part of the story for each playthrough and how they connect. And I found that very interesting.
mhm. Same with Sonic Adventure, but on a different scale, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for both games, I would say this. Yeah.
Okay, Sonic Adventure 2 is number 2, I guess, from in chronological and alphabetical order. Let's move on to a different year, and we have Jet Set Radio Future. No, wait, Sonic
Nice.
Adventure 2 was 3. This is 4.
Yeah, I
This
was
is
gonna
4,
say.
yes. Yeah. I'm losing track because it doesn't matter. Numbers don't matter. The next up, 2002, on the original Xbox, Jim's pick, Jet Set Radio Future. Please
Yeah.
do enlighten us.
So I guess, I mean, I know it is in the list that we've chosen here, but this is kind of the first game potentially that I played that wasn't on a Sega console then, with this coming out on Xbox. And I loved the original Jet Set Radio on Dreamcast. I was highly anticipating the sequel, and it really didn't disappoint, actually. This became my favorite Jet Set Radio game of the two. I think the music is probably one of the best soundtrack for a video game ever. I think it's incredible. The gameplay was so fun. One memory I've got of this game is actually getting so good at the gameplay. I could grind from like rail to rail to rail, land, do a sort of skid into the next thing, do a jump, and get all this sort of stuff. And then I actually went into a game shop, and they had a demo booth set up. And even though I'd probably put like 100 hours into this game already, I just sort of played it on the demo booth, and there was people coming around watching me as though it was like I'd just picked the game up for the first time. I was trialing it, and I was this good. If you know what I mean.
Wow, you're talented.
Wow.
I know. They must have thought, who is this wizard?
And you're like playing with the controller upside down. Like, what's
I suppose.
this? I don't know.
But such an incredible game, and I know we've still sort of waiting for that next Jet Set Radio game that's on the horizon, and we've had Cyberpunk, Bomb Rush, whatever it's called, and it's kind of, I want to say it's given us a little bit of a taste of another Jet Set Radio Future type of game, but for me, there's nothing better than this original Jet Set Radio Future on the original Xbox. It was it's made my list because it was such a great game. Superseded the original actually for me. I thought the gameplay was much smoother. And I know you got you no longer use your thumbsticks to spray, which some people dislike. I didn't mind it too much actually, just going around tagging.
Yeah. I see the benefit of having this new system. Yeah, but I'm a sucker for the original game and the gameplay style. So yeah, but Jet Set Radio Future, great game. Okay, great pick. Say,
Thank you.
okay. Anything else to add about this?
Great game.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
about it. I love Jet Set Radio Future. I can't really add much more than Jim did. It just massively streamlined and sped up the gameplay in a way that was satisfying and still easy to access for newcomers, but felt like a big step up for the people who'd already played the original. It really felt like the training wheels are off a little bit, and so much more explorable because the maps are way bigger and much more. Always loved in the original Jet Set Radio all the unlockables and things you'd get on repeat run throughs. That's even more amplified in future. Jim said as well, better soundtrack, I think, although both have their benefits. Very, just I love Jet Set Radio Future. It's such a good game. I kind of wish I'd picked it for my own list, but just completely forgot it, to be honest with you.
It just blows my mind how Sega never really saw it fit to re-release this. I don't know if it's if licensing has anything to do with it.
Yeah,
I'm
think it's
guessing-
definitely
Maybe.
licensed.
I'm guessing that's the issue here because it's like a no-brainer. They re-released Jet Set Radio a few times on different platforms. This would have been amazing to have outside of the Xbox. It's stuck on one console, so really, really shame it's not available for more people to experience. Yeah. Okay, Jet Set Radio Future 2002. Let's move on. Also 2002. Also another one of Jim's picks. Space Channel
All right,
5 Part 2. I'm guessing you didn't experience this particular version of the game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but I went
put
with the
in
Dreamcast cover
brackets-
for this.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it was originally released on the Dreamcast in 2002, only in Japan, I believe, which was a bit bizarre because I thought the first game was kind of one of the more successful, maybe on the Dreamcast. I guess it was like one of the Sega new era at the time characters that they were sort of maybe not used as a mascot, but it's like iconic in its way that it's become synonymous with Sega, especially over the years. But again, a rhythm-based game like the first one was. I first experienced this in 2011 on Steam, actually, when it was part of the Dreamcast collection. And I'm glad I did because it's actually, in my opinion, better than the first game. I remember the first game feeling a little bit clunky in terms of it was either too precise for my 13-year-old thumb to press the right button at the right time, or there was like some sort of a TV delay or something. But I remember thinking at the time for that game, like, I just pressed that button, why is it not registered? And it was a little bit frustrating. Whereas Space Channel 5 Part 2, they seemed to increase the accuracy or maybe make the window a little bit wider. So it was a lot more fun. Michael Jackson returns. I'm a massive Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah, that's true.
He's basically got a full stage. He's got his own song in there. It's incredible. And the music in the second game, actually, I prefer as well. I think it's got more of a character to it, a lot more fun, a lot more memorable. And it's... I don't know actually what more else to say about it apart from it's definitely worth experiencing for the music alone, I think. Even if you're not into rhythm games, I think it's quite simple enough that you can get away with it. It's sort of like a Simon Says type of game. So again, maybe Casey, you could load up the app, get the actual commands on the screen, and you don't even have to think about it. But I think it's definitely worth playing through it because you'll have a lot of fun, I think.
I don't
Very
know.
colourful.
I don't know if that works the way you just said it, but okay.
Well, if you know what the commands are without trying to remember them, maybe you can press them a little bit easier, is what I mean.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm trying to tie the show together.
Yeah. To do that, I just remembered another one of my honorable mentions that I didn't write down, but yeah. I thought about this as one of my picks. But I didn't pick it for a very simple reason. I don't know if it if it advances the rhythm game genre, if it does anything new or innovative in a way that deserves to be here. I do think for myself, like as a personal preference, I do think this is a very fun game. Space Channel 5, the original one, I think was my first rhythm game that I can remember playing. When Michael Jackson showed up, blew my mind. But I don't know if it actually, for me, if it it deserves a spot because of that. An honorable mention that I forgot to do was Res, which I think is a few steps above Space Channel 5 in part 2 for me in terms of like being innovative and advancing the genre a little bit. And it's still got like a, but I do get where you're coming from. So I'm not saying it's, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be here. I'm saying for me, when I was considering my list, I left it out because of this particular. That makes sense.
To be fair, I didn't actually realize that was a prerequisite for the show, that I needed to think of innovation. I was just picking games that I really enjoyed over the last 25 years.
Sure, that's a valid
and this was one of them.
Valid way of doing this. Yeah, no
Up
problem
until today,
at all.
I treated it as a top list. So, yeah.
The top to me, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Space Channel 5 Part 2, right? That's another game. 2002. Let's keep going. And next up, we have one of Viper's picks. Another O2 game. Viper, what is this?
So, as you can see on screen in the huge bold letters, if you're watching the video version, this is Super Monkey Ball 2. And even, it says up there, for the Nintendo GameCube. Super Monkey Ball 2, it was a bit difficult to choose between this and the first one, but I think the second one is... The first one has the cultural impact. This one has the impact of just being the significantly better game, I think. It effectively... does everything the first one does, just way more of it. One was, being an arcade port, was a very small game, whereas 2 is way more like crammed on the disc or whatever. There's a story mode for the first time, which has something like 100 plus levels on top of the 200 or so that are like in the game already. So there's just boatloads of stuff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, all of the mini games returned from the first game. If not, there's certainly a lot of multiplayer games on the disc available, like for multiplayer sessions, which was always one of the biggest bits of Monkey Ball 2 for sure, in most people's opinion, I think. But generally, like, as party games went, this was a really big deal on the GameCube. It's still one of the most fondly remembered GameCube games, I think, in terms of like multiplayer stuff, things like that. At least from that audience. You don't hear about it as much from the Sega camp, but certainly from Nintendo, there's still a lot of love for Monkey Ball 2, and specifically this one, I think. So, to me, in terms of like pure quality, it's a really solid Sega release. Like, there's very few things I'd put wrong with this game versus some like later games in the series or whatever. Like, this is just grab the disc, everything on here is gold, basically. You know, that's that's what I'd say about Monkey Ball 2. I think it's just back-to-back banger. It's a really good game, and of all the Monkey Balls, the one I think that's made the biggest splash, because I'd probably pick Deluxe personally over this, but I think this is the one that's had the biggest significance. So that's the one that I decided to put on the list, because I apparently wasn't going by favorite like everyone else was.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
I went favorite.
I think I was happy that you included this, because I thought I'm not gonna pick this because I didn't experience it back in the day, but I do know the significance of Monkey Ball, and like you said, for Nintendo fans, Super Monkey Ball is still a big thing. Like, especially Super Monkey Ball 2. I think maybe Banana Rumble for some people has maybe matched, or even in some cases like topped Monkey Ball 2 a little bit for but I think generally speaking, Monkey Ball 2 is still like the pinnacle of the series for a lot of people. And it's really interesting that Nintendo fans are the biggest fans of Monkey Ball, I guess. Which is interesting. Yeah. Great pick. Great pick. What I'm saying.
Thank you.
Mario, Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
My favorite SMB above Super Mario Bros.
SMB2, yeah. Also my favorite Mario game, SMB2. Actually.
Wow.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I think so. My
Hot
like
take.
the
That's an
original
outlier.
ones,
So
the NES games. I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. Yeah. I know Mario 3 is considered to be the best, but yeah. Anyway, not a Nintendo show. Next up on our list, we have another one of Jim's picks. He picked
Nice.
the earlier games. That's why he's having
Yeah.
all this airtime. This is the
And-
only arcade game on this. I guess if you don't consider like the conversions, this is the only like pure arcade game we have on the list. So it's what, Jim?
Great.
Yeah, and the game is. Would you like to share, especially for listeners who are not
Oh,
really seeing this?
do you want me to actually talk about the game?
Yes,
I see,
please,
yeah.
and say what it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, so I'm making up for the last couple of months, I guess, with all this talking I'm doing. But Virtua Cop 3, that's what this game is. So it's the third in the Virtua Cop series, if you didn't know. It's, I guess, slightly more of a modern take on those originals that, you're thinking of like the Sega Saturn era. I was hoping this would eventually come to either the Dreamcast or, I guess at the time, original Xbox, but it was one of the few games that sort of dodged that home console release for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure why. So you can only play this in the arcade, and it was my personal favorite light gun game of all time. I prefer this to even like House of the Dead games. This game, for some reason, at the right time, sort of spoke to me. It was a lot of fun. I love the pedal, the addition of the pedal, so you can slow down time. You can actually physically shoot the bullets out of the air that are coming at you, which made the game easy in a sense that you could get through a lot of it on £1 coin. So me and my friend, we both used to put £1 each in, and we could pretty much clear the entire game on £1. So we'd be stood there for about an hour, and you'd really, really get your money's worth. So in terms of gameplay per minute, or what would it be, like a monetary amount per minute, this was probably the best arcade game that had ever been released at the time. And yeah, just if you like light gun games, this is a really, really good one. There's some cameos in there. There's like little Sonic dolls that you can shoot. There's randomly, I guess because it was made by AM2 or one of those divisions, there's a couple of little Shenmue 2 characters cameos. So there's the girl that's in front of the Lai Lai eatery with the panda shirt on. She comes running at you at one particular moment. I think there's the kid that plays darts because he's wearing the same clothes, but now he's older. Or they didn't use a child because obviously if you accidentally shoot him, that's probably not good. So
Could
they
be
made
as
him
well.
an adult. Yeah. So I instantly recognized like the shorts and shirt that he's wearing
Okay.
from Shenmue 2. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, great game. It's again similar to Ghost Squad in that there's like 3 stages and then there's a bonus stage.
Mhm.
And the bonus stage actually in this is like a boss rush. So you kind of have to kill the bosses again,
Okay.
which wasn't good for the pound coins actually. We ended up putting a couple more in on that bonus stage, but yeah, a lot of fun.
Didn't know
A
about the
shame it never got a home
Shenmue,
release.
the Shenmue Easter eggs. Didn't know that. So thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So Virtua Cop 3 is
And it was
2003.
extremely innovative.
okay. Yeah. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah.
it's innovative in the sense that it's a 2003 game, which is interesting because I don't think we have any more from that that year. Actually, we're probably
okay.
going to take a quick leap here, I guess, for our next game. Yeah. A 3-year leap to 2006. I'm going to say I'm quite surprised I wasn't the only one that added this to their to their list.
Really?
Mhm.
3 of us did, actually. I was quite surprised. I didn't think I thought I was the one, the only fan of this game here, but apparently not. So Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. I can go first a little bit. So I considered Outrun 2 first, but then I thought this is like the definitive version of Outrun 2, I guess.
Mhm.
And this is I never played the original Outrun 2. I played Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. The first one I played was on the PSP. I know this is showing the Xbox version because I think it's supposed to be like the original main version of the game that Sumo Digital worked on. But I actually picked it up for my PSP. Loved it. Also have the PS2 version. You could connect the PS2 and the PSP and like save progress and unlock stuff. Really cool stuff back in the day. And it's definitely the best Outrun game ever. It's got all the arcade stuff. It's got all the Outrun 2 SP mode as well. It's got all the Outrun 2 home console stuff, like the bonus modes. You have to like complete challenges and all that jazz, unlock cars, whatever. So everything is in here. It's a very, very like complete package, I would say. If you're a fan of Outrun, it got me entertained for hours on end, and I still go back to it, especially the PSP version. I often like on my handheld emulation handhelds, I often have Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast loaded up there just for a quick burst of Coast to Coast because I still love it to this day. So please, comments, guys.
Yeah, I actually had this on my list too. So I played it on the PSP as well, Casey, bizarrely. So you're not alone there. And I just think it's infinitely playable. It never seems to get old. It's just one of those games that you can just pick up and play and have such good fun playing it. The gameplay's perfect in every way. Like the drifting just feels right. They've nailed everything about it. I'll touch upon a couple more modes in there as well. You've got the heart mode that's really good. It's like a few little mini games with the nice lady next to you that she wants some really good driving from you. And then also, I think it's called endless mode, which was a neat way of like letting you just race all 15 stages.
Oh yeah.
In one go, yeah. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And who was the third person?
Viper.
This was his Viper. Any more
It
to
was
add?
me, surprise. But no, I love Outrun 2, and Coast to Coast, as Casey said, is probably the best version. It's missing a few things. I think mainly the crossover stages aren't there that are in the Outrun 2 Xbox port. So you're missing the Scud race and the other one that just completely escapes me. But aside from that, this is the most feature complete version of the game. Even still now, it's not being re-released anytime soon, let's face it. But also, even Outrun Online Arcade, which came out a few years later, was infinitely stripped down compared to this version. So it just made it easier to return here. But I'd say Outrun 2 specifically, like just bundling them all together like we've done with a couple games here, going back to my influential talk or whatever, honestly, I don't know if Jim felt the same, but certainly like here in the UK, every single arcade on a beachfront will have this game.
100%,
it is short of like 2p machines and I don't know, like all the cheap arcade games that are coming out nowadays. This is like the game I see the most. Like more than
more than Daytona,
even today, right?
Yeah,
more than Daytona. Yeah,
okay.
I would say even today, you could walk into like a random cinema or bowling place, and there's a chance that an Outrun 2 machine still sat there from like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, like all other machines.
I've been finding it
gone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go on.
No, I was saying I've been finding it recently over here We don't have many arcades or arcade adjacent places here, but I've been finding it like random, like shopping malls across the country I go to, and I'm like, oh, Outrun 2, why? Don't mind if I do, though. So, yeah.
And that's it. That's a big part of the draw for me as well. Like last year, a bowling alley opened in my town, and we've never had like an arcade or anything like that back in my hometown. And sure enough, wouldn't you know, what was there? So absolutely had to get in a game of Outrun 2, even at the outrageous price of £2.50 a play, because it's that good of a game. Just
Ouch.
no matter how many times I play it, it never ceases to get old to me. Like, it's still the same game, infinitely replayable, as the term was thrown around, no matter whether I'm playing it on console or I've also dabbled on PSP. Thankfully, recently someone fixed the PC version, and that's now like fully playable on modern systems. So
That's true.
even got that on like the Steam Deck and take that out with me for like the full arcade experience out on the go. Like, I will play this game wherever I see it. It's one of the few games, like, if I have the money and I see it, I'm visiting somewhere new or going back to like a sure whatever, I will always make sure to play this game. Like, one of the greatest racing games ever made, and I think that's the reason it's still so ubiquitous here. Is nothing's ever come along and topped it. In arcade amusements, I'm sure like plenty of games you could argue have on the console front, and that's why it's still stuck on like 6th gen hardware. But certainly, like, arcade games, this was where arcade racing like peaked. It was all downhill from here. So Outrun 2, incredible game.
Okay. Yeah. So, Viper, would you like to tell us about your next pick? Because you picked this next one alongside Jim. It's
Yeah,
Bayonetta.
although definitely not on PS3. Absolutely not.
2008,
And
original release.
yeah, I mean, even back in 2008, this was a not very good port of the game. Quite infamously, didn't it take down the porting studio who did it? Or am I misremembering that? Can't quite recall, because
I
I
think
know
the
Platinum did
Xbox
it for the
version was the
360.
better one, the 360 version, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is all irrelevant because I didn't play it on these platforms, because I got into it years later when a company called Nintendo bailed out the series. I can't believe it, I know, but I think the first time I played this was on the Wii U version, if I'm not
Probably.
mistaken, because they'd finally announced Bayonetta 3, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to play these after so long of having put them off all these years, so let's do it. And one of the best action games ever made. It's like, just, it's a class above. Like, nowadays, I'm sure there's way better, but for 2008, this was just like the pinnacle of iteration upon all those years that you'd have had of the same team on Devil May Cry before, now all gone into Bayonetta. And it's like stylish, it's fast paced, and feels satisfying to play. The story is really intriguing, I thought. The settings, very different. Like, the whole fact it was, all set in Europe. The original version was fully voice acted in English. There was no Japanese dub until Nintendo mandated there be one. That was like part of the whole game's vibe. Was it was very European, and that was still something you kind of struggle with in games a little bit now. Like, don't get me wrong, there's way more, but it felt fresh. Even playing it at the time, to just not be like this action game set in Japan or America or something. It's a really different game. Everything it strives to do is like, hey, look, this is an iteration of the action genre, but everything else about it is new and bold, because it's when Platinum was still new and rebellious before everything went down in the past few years. It was like, this is our big bold title that we're going to catch people's eyes with. You had stuff before and after this, but this was the game they made still, like, through to the end. Was Bayonetta 1 was the groundwork for the type of game they made going forward, more so than, like, I mean, Vanquish, for example, came out at a very similar time. Like,
Yeah.
was that Shinji Mikami, or was that someone else? I can't remember.
I can't remember. But yeah, I definitely associate the two. Actually,
Yeah,
Sega re-released the two together
Yes,
quite
they did.
a few times, I guess. Yeah.
But I remember, like, in Vanquish's case, whoever did that left the company very quickly, whereas you had quite famously the head of Platinum Games working on Bayonetta, and like it just was, I don't know, just everything about this game stands out, and it's still such a solid game to play. It's an infinitely replayable action game. Like, I could just never get bored of just throwing punches in this game, or equipping the sword and getting a different fighting style out or whatever. Like, it's just so fun, and music as well. So many different genres crammed in there. It's a fantastic game.
And this first
on so
one
many
has a lot of
platforms.
like Sega love as well in terms of music,
Oh
which
yes,
is
yes.
amazing. Yeah, some amazing like Infinite Climax remixes.
And you get the actual, like, there's a Hang On stage that for some reason has an Afterburner remix. I don't know why they did it that way around, but
Space Harrier
like-
as well, right? Like a Space Harrier type minigame?
the what is it, Angel Attack, that plays when you
Okay.
finish the chapter, is pretty heavily Space Harrier inspired. But there is also a Space Harrier shooter segment as well in the game. And then they massively stripped that all away with Bayonetta 2 because Nintendo got involved.
Because Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame, because this game, Bayonetta 1's such a good game. I'd need to play it again. It's been too long. It's been like 2 years. I'm having withdrawals. What a game.
Okay. Jim, anything to add?
Yeah, maybe not too much actually, but I just feel like the character of Bayonetta is one of those sort of few characters that just instantly becomes iconic. There's like games that can release and have like a main character that's forgettable, but whether it was the way that she looks or something like that was like very much prying on young people's minds, I guess, like with the 18 rating on there, and it's, obviously these.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What
are you talking about, Jim?
But the way that she sort of uses her hair to attack as well, like, and just the stunning visuals, the sort of cinematics, like the very first stage you're sort of thrown into, you're like falling down on like a huge clock or something, and it's just crazy, and the storyline doesn't really feel coherent. It's like something's happening over here.
Yeah.
Some dudes get shot, killed, and then comes back to life, and the sort of the mafia guy that she's friends with or whatever just feels a little bit out of place for that sort of relationship, but it's fun,
very B-movie.
a lot of fun. Yeah, and then she goes to Hal, and then there's Rodon or whatever his name is, that guy, and it's the relationship she has with these random characters, and yeah, it's just an insane game. Very smooth to play as well. I think more highlighted with maybe the Steam release now that you can probably play in like 120 FPS, and I'm sure it feels incredible to play today. It's like a game that hasn't really aged in that sense. It's so smooth, and it's like a flagship title, I would say, for Platinum Games, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Like, very, in terms of impact, very impactful, and definitely laid the groundwork for other things they worked on, like Metal Gear Revengeance and other things that maybe got them a little more recognition. But I guess Bayonetta is still iconic for them as well. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Great pick there. Thank you guys for picking this one. Next one is one of mine. It's Valkyria Chronicles. I just can't shut up about this. I realized I've never done like a special episode of the show about this game for some reason, or the series, and I need to fix that maybe next season. Valkyria Chronicles is one of my favorite games of all time. I have gone on record several times saying I'm not really big on like the traditional JRPG style of game, like guess like turn-based RPGs. This is sort of a turn-based RPG, but it's also a little bit strategy. It's got a beautiful art style, like kind of like watercolor painting style, which is beautiful. The story is incredible here as well, for this first game in particular. And it's so satisfying to play. You're always in battle, like proper battle. So it's set on this world's equivalent of World War II. But it's not really World War II, and it's not really Europe, and you're not fighting the Nazis. No, it's just something different. You're fighting the Federation or whatever, or the Empire. I can't remember. Um, and there's these like mystical creatures, the Valkyrias, like people like girls that are born with like special powers, and you realize how that is throughout the game, and it's a big part of how the game unfolds and also the gameplay. So you control your units in battle, yeah, like your army, your squad. Um, there's permadeath as well. So if one of your squad members dies and you don't send in the medic to like remove them from the battlefield, you lose them like for the rest of the game. And some of these characters you can grow attached to. There are like a couple of Skies of Arcadia characters in here as well, like cameos. Although they're not from Skies of Arcadia, they're from this universe, from the Valkyrie Chronicles universe. But there's some interesting nods to other Sega franchises here as well. And the story is just so emotional. Things happen in this game that I wasn't really expecting, and I fully cried when I played this game for the first time. Maybe when I played it for the second and third times as well, because it gets really emotional and you really get attached to these characters in a way that I don't think the other games in the series were ever really able to replicate this, the feeling of this one, with the exception of 4. I think 4 is probably the best one in the series. But 1 takes the cake for me, my favorite one. I got it on the PlayStation 3. I got the remastered version on the PS4. I got it on Switch. I got it on Steam. And I think I'm forgetting something as well, another version that I got as well.
Maybe?
I don't know. It's one of those games that I have everywhere. So if you haven't played Valkyrie Chronicles, you owe it to yourself. Even if you don't like turn-based RPGs, you're going to like this because it's not that hard to... It's not that boring if that's your problem. You can move around. You have like action points. You can move your squad members around a little bit. There's strategy involved, of course. But it's very satisfying, especially very satisfying when you finally understand how the game actually works, what you're doing, and sometimes you can end a battle, like a mission, in 1 or 2 turns, because you just know how everything works. It's very satisfying when it finally clicks. You go back to earlier missions, 1 turn and you're done, and you get like an S rank. Very, very satisfying. So definitely one of my favorites. And I'll shut up now. Valkyrie Chronicles 2008. Definitely up there with one of the best from Sega.
You make me want to try it when you talk about it like that.
You should. I know you'll love it. Especially like trying to get the S ranks. So I don't think you get S ranks. I think the best you can get is A.
What? You think I'm a rank collector? What makes you think that?
Who knows?
I know you love S ranks, but
Just a guess.
there's no S ranks in this
No
game.
S ranks here.
Oh yeah, then it's not worth it.
Then it's not for you. Yeah. Okay. Next one. The next one. It's one of yours, Lime. So it's it's your turn.
Hey.
Your turn to shine here. 2012. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yeah.
I am right. I am.
Yeah.
It's one of yours.
That's
yes.
what's on screen, at least.
No. I was thinking, is this one of yours? It is, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
I was thinking I was going to pick either this or Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I landed on this one because, one, it stands the test of time. Cross Worlds might be a little too early to see if it does. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, but this is a game that I have absolutely loved for several of years. Have played with friends several years as well, and it's just still such tight gameplay, and I still absolutely love it. There are even lots of things that I prefer with this game compared to Crossworlds when it comes to the gameplay as well. So yeah, in another show sometime in the future, maybe I would say Crossworlds instead, possibly. But right now, this might be a little bit opposite
It's too early, right?
of a recent bias, because here it's like Crossworlds is to me a little too recent to pick right now for me. So yeah,
Okay.
I picked it.
Jim, I think you also picked this one.
Yeah, I also picked this, and I will say that in particular, the merging of all these different types of Sega IPs, obviously the stages, the characters, is what is the major selling point for me. The fact that I think it was only released on Steam, but you could play as Ryo Hazuki as well, and the way that they designed his
That was
vehicle,
why
so
you
that-
picked this one.
exactly right.
Only reason.
The Shenmue cameo, but how they've got like the arcade cabinets for each of his vehicles. So you've got the Outrun car, the Space Harrier, and Afterburn type of things. And yeah, I think that's probably why. Not that I've played Crossworlds yet, to be honest. I haven't even bought it. But hearing Lime saying like he was tossing and turning between the two, this is why I would pick Transformed over Crossworlds any day of the week, because of all the Sega cameos. I feel like, I don't know why, but Sega are missing a trick by not really focusing and highlighting all the different IPs from over the years and all the characters that go with it. The first racing game was great, but Transformed, adding that extra element of the boats and the flying, some extra little gameplay mechanics there. And again, it's sort of infinitely replayable. It's very much got the Outrun coast to coast style drifting as well. It feels very satisfying drifting around corners. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what more to say about it. I think everyone probably listening to the
I
show
don't know what you want from me.
I'll add something.
The bottom of the barrel. Yeah,
I'll add something. This was a very iconic moment for the community, for the Sega community. It was like this was our like Smash Bros moment, like of having like reveals in a much minor scale compared to Smash Bros. But they when this was close to release, we had the Sega blog yet, or still, and Steve Lycett went on the blog and announced who the next character would be, or a next stage would be, and everyone was really excited, like making bets. So, oh, it's Shenmue. Oh, it's Knights. It's whatever, and it was like a very cool time to be a Sega fan back in 2012. It's like probably starting in 2011, I guess. We get these regular bits of information dropping, and we were really, really excited for this game because everyone loved the original one, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, but Transformed was a much better game, and all the crossovers. So I am very glad that you guys picked this one because it was one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah, probably would be mine now that it's been mentioned. I just completely forgot about this off my list.
Really?
I feel like I'd personally side more with the first racing game, but that's like entirely bias, nostalgia, etc.
Okay.
This is the better game by far.
Yeah.
100%. Like this game has had so much staying power that other kart racers have tried to have and failed to in the process, that has only really been a bit washed away with Crossworlds, to be honest. Until then, it was still regularly played and loved. What, like 13 years later? It's a testament to just how good of a game it is. And even just seeing the box art here on screen right now makes me go, I really want to fire this up after the show. It's such a good game.
And this is the limited edition as well.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
True.
Yeah.
It makes it even more special.
This is the only version of the game that I never had, the PS3 version. I had it on
I even bought this.
Xbox 360, PS Vita, DS, Wii U, and Steam. So 6 version of the game
I
that
even
I
bought it
own
on
of this.
mobile. That's how much I liked this game.
Okay, okay, not that, sadly. This was amazing. This was a like very impactful for the community as a whole. Yeah, and thank you, Sumo Digital, for this. By the way. Okay. Oh, very minor thing. When compared to Crossworlds, I remember this the other day. It's kind of like a very like full on like single player mode that you can play for a very long time. Like
Yeah.
Crossroads, I guess it's a more traditional kart racer in the sense of like it's focusing more on Grand Prix and stuff. That's it. Have other modes, but it's mostly Grand Prix and multiplayer. This
Yeah.
had like that career mode that could unlock stuff. You had to,
And S ranks.
yeah, like the star system, I
Brutal.
believe.
Yeah, it had specific challenges
Yeah,
that
specific
made you really
challenges.
train your skills in a certain way, and I like
That's
that.
how you unlocked characters. That's how you unlocked mods. That's so very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Still never got ages the legit way, to be honest. They
Oh, really?
some of those challenges were so tough.
I
One
got it
day.
on one of the versions. Which one? Don't ask me.
Viper, you just gotta get good. That's your issue.
I'm not good. I'll
there.
fully accept that.
That's a great segue to move on to 2014. 2 years later, we got one of my picks, Alien Isolation. If you told like 2019 or 2020 KC that you would be picking this as one of the best Sega games of the past 25 years, I would have said no way I'm ever gonna play this. I'm not a horror fan in general. I'm not really big into like horror movies, much less horror games. This was when everyone was streaming during the pandemic, and it was fun to watch people play Alien Isolation. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna try it with like a heart rate monitor strapped onto my chest and stuff. And I really enjoyed this. And it's one of those games that I have on several platforms. I have it on Xbox. I played it on the Xbox One back, I think 2020 or 2021. I can't remember when I played this. I streamed this. Then I got it on my iPad, on Steam, on the Switch. I believe I also have it. So I love Alien Isolation, and I've replayed this like 4 or 5 times already. And it's such a good game. Don't think of it as a horror game, like a scary game. It's a very good game, first and foremost. And then it does such a great job of getting you in that place, in like space station, abandoned space station, where creepy things are happening. Even the reveal of the alien takes a while. So if you know anything about Alien, and it's in the name, it's about an alien creature. But it takes, it's true, I know, spoilers, I apologize. But it takes a while. The way they reveal the alien, you hear things, you see like shadows and stuff. You know there's a creature on board of the space station, but before it takes a while for you to actually see it. And the first time you see it, it's really, really scary. And the way they deal the tension, the way they deal it's just an amazing game. And I got both the scariest moments of playing games and the funniest moments of playing game, like the funnest moments of playing games, playing this. So I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to just experience a good game. And this is and it's really cool that they're doing a sequel announced last year for the 10th anniversary. Really excited about this. And it's widely regarded as one of the best games of 2014 as well. For some, even the best game of 2014. So I do think this one deserves a spot on the list. And it's finally, or good to finally see Sega doing something good with the Alien license. I'm looking at you, Alien Colonial Marines.
Mm.
Yeah. Alien Isolation. Definitely recommended. And I'm moving on. Okay. 2015, Yakuza 0. Who wants to go first? A few people nominated this one. No one. Did I go first? I nominated this. I think you did too, Viper, right?
Did we potentially all nominate this?
Maybe.
didn't
Picked the
actually.
Yakuza game, but not this one.
Yeah, I think it was just
okay.
two of
I
us.
thought Lime did
Viper.
at least as well.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why did you pick Yakuza 0 out of all the others? I don't think this is your favorite game.
No, it's certainly
No?
not my favorite game, but like
Your
a lot
favorite
of
Yakuza
people,
game. Mhm.
oh, yeah, certainly not favorite Yakuza game either. But like a lot of people, this is my first entry in the series
Oh.
that I picked up exclusively for the reason, like everyone else did, I heard good word of mouth about it, and it was cheap. I just got on a PS4 not long before. This was like January 2017 over here, despite the 2015 date up there. So I'd only just got my PS4, and seeing this was a £10 Sega game, I was like, okay, even it was like 2 or 3 months after launch, it was already that price. So it's like, this is a no-brainer. I'll gamble on it. Played it, it clicked, but not enough to keep playing it, and then came back the year later and marathoned it within like a month. It's just everything about this game is a perfect introduction at the same time as being a great love letter for people who've already played the series to this point. And it sparked a huge resurgence of the series in the West. Most people, for the first time, they were hearing about it or whatever, and is the reason to this day we're going to be able to talk about some of the other games that are on this list, because they would not have happened without the spark in a bottle success of this game. And I think that's what a lot of this is for me, is as much as this game is really good, and replaying it again this year made me realize that for the first time in a while, thanks to the less than stellar director's cut. But it made me think this is a really good game, but I'm really appreciative more so of what it did for this as a series over here, because we wouldn't have any of it if it wasn't for just how brilliant this was at capturing people's attention. And once again, how good of a game it was, plain and simple.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly why I picked this as well. It's not my favorite Yakuza game or Like a Dragon game. It wasn't my first entry into this world either, but it was so important. Just like you said, it's a brilliant game. It's a game that I really enjoy. I'm a sucker for like the 80s vibe in anything. This one's got like the soundtrack is amazing. I had such a good time like doing the Yakuza. Radio Sega presents Yakuza 0 show on Radio Sega. Such an amazing soundtrack this one has. The story is great. It's like everything people loved about Yakuza before this came out. It's like maybe fine-tuned in a way, but also as a way for people who were new to this universe, this world, to learn about it, understand it better. And maybe this is why it was so successful. The first Yakuza game that Sega in the West was able to properly market the right way. So finally, Sega West realized what the Yakuza series was about, and they finally marketed it the proper way, promoted it the way it was supposed to be from the start. And maybe we would have maybe if they had done this from the very beginning of the series, it wouldn't have been called Yakuza, maybe. Would have been called Like a Dragon from the beginning, or whatever else they came up with.
Wouldn't have this mess.
Yeah, this mess of completely weird titles. But still, very good game. But it's on my list as well because of how impactful it was, how important it really was and still is for the series. I know for a fact that it's like many people's favorite Yakuza game. simply because it was their first game. It's the one they remember most fondly. So it's not my favorite, but it's up there with the best. Okay, moving on. And now we got a 2016/2019 game or games. We have Persona 5 / Persona 5 Royal. So I was the one that picked Persona 5 Royal because it was the version that I played. But Viper and Lime, you guys picked Persona 5. I don't know if specifically or because it was the first one.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's the one I played. Yeah.
Okay. So Lime,
okay.
please do share why it's such a good game.
Yeah, what to say about this one? I got my first Persona experience through Persona 4. And I was just very, very hyped for this one. And comparing the two, I just think that this has the edge gameplay wise. I think that both have like amazing stories, amazing soundtracks. So for me, it came down to the difference in gameplay. I just feel like this feels better to play. Other than that, like it has it all. It has mystery. It has what I like, amazing, interesting symbolism to the whole going to the other world and stealing a treasure thing. And yeah, just the gameplay that is fun to play.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me, Viper? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm smiling.
Smiling and agreeing.
Going along
Smiling
with
in
what you're
agreement.
You're laughing at me. I'm sitting here and I'm pouring my heart out, and you're laughing at me. Okay, you go ahead.
I'm going to say as well, much like Yakuza 0, this made Persona mainstream, right?
Made
Much
Atlas
like
mainstream.
an Atlas mainstream as well, right? So Atlas always had a big cult following. Atlas fans, very loyal. They knew they liked Atlas, but this showed the world what Atlas was, who Atlas was, what Persona was. And I think for that alone, it should be on this list. But also it's a very, very good game. And that's coming from a person who's not really big into JRPGs. So I love Persona 5 Royal. Viper, you want to add something? I can tell.
I don't quite. No, I'm just nodding along with you, to be honest. I mean, you guys have got it across very well because I think Lime kind of said it for me as well. I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite. I still think I would prefer Persona 3 over 5, but then also going back to what KC said, I think this is far and away like a runaway success compared to any game Atlas released before, and still I'd say after it as well. Like it's a beast into itself that's bigger than Persona is Persona 5 almost. Like it's on top of that just a really good game. I think what helps this game edge out Persona 3 or something like that for me is the gameplay is just a leap above in terms of there's a lot of RPG stuff in there, of course, but there's also just like more moment to moment gameplay in this than previous Persona games. In terms of like you got the infiltrations of the palace, you've got I can't think. All of a sudden, it's gone out of my head.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah.
There's way more gameplay in something like this than, say, Persona 3, which just comes across as a visual novel. So therefore, a bit more a visual novel-like in a lot of ways. So it's very easy to recommend on that basis, like you say, to someone who doesn't enjoy RPGs, as it is, despite being very heavily an RPG, like it doesn't in any way condescend, talk down. It's like if you're an RPG person, this is still an RPG. If you're not familiar with this, we're not going to dumb this down for you, but we're going to make this accessible to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciated it for that because I'm not as strong as KC about disliking RPGs, but certainly I've had my moments with not being good at them and therefore not enjoying when other series pivoted towards being them, for example. But this game, I really enjoyed this game, and it helped me get to grips of like so many core concepts. Like I played other RPGs just before playing this, but none of them quite explained a lot of the mechanics as simply, but also as deeply as Persona 5 manages to, without ever, like I say, talking down or dumbing it down for the more hardcore crowd as well. It's like a really masterful game that's like another one like Bayonetta. It feels like a huge evolution of everything that came before it, like just a masterclass in just refinement of everything before. And even though I still would say, yeah, it might not be my favorite of the two that I've played, but I don't know. This game's really good, and it's earned its place in gold. And I'd say it's got to be high up on this list, certainly, just in terms of sheer like staying power that it's had all these years later.
Popularity as well.
Yeah. And like it's
and
one of
the
the highest
soundtrack.
rated games of all time, I think, as well. Still, isn't it? It's very, very highly rated,
and it's got
and for good reason.
all these spin-offs. like you said, it's a series on its own. Persona 5, it's a series on its own. Like grew above Persona, I guess. Okay, moving on. 2016 still, and this is one of Jim's picks. Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. Jim, please do enlighten.
Yeah, well, I thought I had to get a Yakuza game on this list. Obviously, constantly gets compared to Shenmue, and in terms of that, this is possibly, in my opinion, the closest to feeling Shenmue-like in terms of at least the second area. Is it Onomachi, whatever it's called, the sort of the fishing port town? Very much has
Hiroshima?
the Koska feel.
Is it?
I think it is. Is it like a port town of Hiroshima? Maybe.
Yeah,
I thought thought the name was something like Onomachi or something like that.
Yeah, it's got a like a
Onomichi, is it?
Onomichio is the orange headed character, but yes, it's got it's named after the place. I think you're right. Yes.
Yeah. And that area, being able to click in at the right thumbstick, I think, and you can go like first person, and the detail. And it was the first Yakuza game on that new engine, so there was like exciting visuals coming off of Yakuza 0, and like exploring that temple area, like at the top of the cable car. In terms of exploration, I think this game is my favorite for exploring the game world. And the gameplay is still good. The story is good. It's got like probably a good 1 second. It's got a really nice ending to this particular game. I feel like it wraps up a lot of the loose ends in Kiryu's story. There's without spoiling it, there's a sort of a nice at the time send off for him, and I guess comparing it to Yakuza 0, Yakuza 0 probably is the better game and the more influential and innovative, or whatever we're trying to cover with this topic. But my personal favorite, which I based my list off of, was Yakuza 6. But it does alternate sometimes. Some days it might be Yakuza 0. Some days it might be the first Yakuza game, but like the Kiwami version. I think Yakuza Kiwami, in terms of like a short, maybe 10, 12-hour experience game that you can just play story-wise, is possibly my favorite. But if you want these like 50-hour epics, true. If you want these sort of 50-hour type epics with loads of side quests and stuff, Yakuza 0 is probably that one. But Yakuza 6 is currently my personal favorite in the series because of the close ties to Shenmue, I would say.
Yeah, makes sense. It's like, I think it's like peak traditional Yakuza style. It's not my favorite, but I do understand. Okay, moving on. 2017/18, we have Sonic Mania /Sonic Mania Plus. I'm guessing like Plus is like the full package, so it makes sense. I can start with this one. It's definitely my favorite 2D like classic Sonic game. I mean, not my favorite. it's the best one in my opinion. I guess my favorite is still, I think, Sonic 2 for nostalgia reasons, but Sonic Mania is the best classic Sonic experience you can get on any kind of system. Especially Sonic Mania Plus with all the extra characters and the Encore mode and stuff. It's just a love letter to Sonic. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it does a lot of cool things with like level design, revisiting stages you're familiar with. And it was really what I think not just me, but most people who were Sonic fans growing up during the 16-bit era expected from, for example, Sonic 4, but we never got. So it's like finally Sega allowed the fans to do, who understood Sonic, to do what they weren't able to do all these years. So still one of the, and another one that I have on multiple platforms and play several times throughout the year. So yeah. Viper, I think you added this to your list as well.
I did. I think I just put the original. I wasn't hugely blown away by Plus, but I replayed it again this year. It's still a very good package for what it is, like as a
It's
£5
just got more
piece of
content.
DLC.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
But Sonic Mania as a game, I mean, I already said earlier about Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2, sorry, how that was like a Generations game or whatever, and then you had the love letter to it recently with like Sonic Shadow Generations. Well, this was the love letter for 90s Sonic all the way back then. This was like, okay, we've dabbled in like bringing this character back and bringing the style of game back before now, but this was by people who really understood the assignment because they'd been doing the exact same thing themselves for like 10 years independently. So they knew what other people wanted and they were given the privilege of being able to give it directly to the people. And it's still a very good game. I don't know whether it's my favorite classic Sonic game, probably still pipped out by some of the originals, but certainly still a very solid experience for what it is. Like, very few things you can fault it on. There are more than some other games on this list for me, but for most people that's not the case. And this was just like such a huge sigh of relief after like years of Sonic Boom and Lost World and things. This was, we're actually doing what people want for a change. And they then chose to kind of keep that momentum, not quite. They stumbled a little bit, but we finally feel like we're back to solid ground again for the first time in ages. And I think this game marks the beginning of, okay, this is what people want. Well, let's just try and cater to that rather than trying to make what we think like makes the best game or what we want to do or whatever. Sometimes just playing it safe, playing it to the people you know who really love it rather than trying to skew it to people who won't enjoy it. I think this was the game that started the make it for the fans aspect of it, and that's what's been driving the successful side of Sonic now for the best part of a decade, thanks to this game. So long may it continue. And
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, exactly. Well
long may it
said.
continue.
Well said. Yeah. Okay, remember how I was the only one who nominated Shenmue 2? Right? Back in the beginning, I was like, why didn't Jim nominate that? I was puzzled by his list, but then here comes his next pick.
It all makes sense.
It all makes
Does
sense.
that count?
It does to me because it lets me talk about the first game as well now. So this is a bit of a cheat game, but
so Shenmue 1 and 2
me,
HD.
Yes, exactly that. So it's the full package, really. I know originally when it was being created, they were going to go for the sort of Shenmue remake, and then I guess they scrapped it. I'm not sure in favor of, but it ended up being a re-release of Shenmue 1 and 2, like the Dreamcast versions, but now for modern systems, and everyone gets to play them. Yay. And definitely have to play this. It's like for me, these are the two greatest video games ever produced of all time. add any more words to that. It's like this is the best experience of video gaming history. You've got the first game, which was obviously at the time definitely deserves to be on this innovation style of list. That theme there with the obviously it was like the biggest budget at the time for a video game, Guinness World Records. The graphics were possibly the greatest that anyone had ever seen. It like blew people away how great this was. And then you got obviously the detail of the world, the kind of the new uniqueness of it being probably like the first open world game, the NPCs with the routines, the day and night cycle, the weather. They just implemented so much in this game that was kind of fresh and new and definitely innovative for the time. And a lot of games today have taken a lot of inspiration from these features that first appeared in Shenmue, and definitely being able to cheat and talk about Shenmue 1 in that way is my personal favorite video game of all time. And then also chat a little bit about Shenmue 2 that you kind of picked up there, Casey, where it's a continuation of the storyline, of course. It's where the major revelations in the storyline actually start to happen and unfold. So there's character that you only see in dreams in the first game. You now get to see her and meet her in person at the end of Shenmue 2. And it's like, another mind-blowing experience that this character takes like on your first playthrough, like 40 hours to reach. And and that Guilin walk is possibly my personal favorite gaming highlight of all time. I know it's a walking simulator for that particular 2-hour moment, but it's the world's greatest walking simulator of all time.
It is.
It's just a beautiful game. The music, the cinematography, the camera pans, it's just beautiful. I'm formulating a tear in my eye now talking about it. So, you keep using this word, but it's infinitely talkable for me. Like, I've spent the best part of 25 years chatting about 2 games, which perhaps doesn't seem to make sense, but I just can't stop talking about Shenmue. And especially after that Shenmue 4 leak trailer thing, that's probably fake, semi-confirmed fake. There's still more to come, and getting little glimpses like that excite me as a person, and it's all because of these 2 games that I'm even where I am currently at the moment, which is Japan. So it's not only my favorite video game of all time, it's like personally inspired my life and took me in these directions. And my life wouldn't be the same without at least the original Shenmue, and you could group Shenmue 2 into that as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Best endorsement ever, I guess. I'll just add a little bit of information here for people saying, oh, Casey, why didn't you pick this one? Because I told myself no, like re-releases or remakes or remasters, I guess. There's a little bit of an exception on my list later, but I think it makes sense. So that's why I went with Shenmue 2 only and didn't include this one on the list. But I do get it. Totally agreed. Yeah. Glad you were able to squeeze this in to our list. And so, continuing on that note, Lime, next one's yours.
Talking about squeezing in.
Yeah. Next up, 2019, finally, after the big announcement at E3 2015, we finally got Shenmue 3, but you only played it recently, and it got on your list.
Yeah.
Please explain.
Indeed. I wanted to pick a Shenmue game, and I was thinking about, okay, so then which one? And me personally, I would actually prefer this one. I know that's not the most common opinion, but I just feel like a game like this just did what it's trying to do so much better with better graphics. That was one of the huge. That was a huge part for me. I think they got to make things so beautiful in that game, and in a game where it's so slow paced and like they want you to take everything in, now you really can in a more immersive way. And I also enjoyed looking for all those Bailu-chans as well. So
That's
there are
fun.
also like some gameplay elements that I did in 3. I don't even know if it exists in 2, but I didn't do it in 2, and so I picked 3.
Duck racing.
Yeah, I guess. You need to
Oh, yeah.
replay 2 and find duck racing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this is amazing because we got Shenmue 1, 2 twice, and 3 on this list. Yeah. Thanks, Slime.
Me and
Okay.
Lime hacked the list.
I've not said a single thing for any of these 3 entries, so clearly I was involved in hacking it.
You, however, Viper, I believe, nominated this next one, 2020's Streets of
Shenmue
Rage
4.
4.
Oh.
Yeah, almost. I wish.
Nearly.
No. Streets of Rage 4, 2020. Lizard Cube and Dot Amu and other people as well. So yeah, why, Viper?
So I'm back on innovation again. No, partially, but like I feel like this game hugely like kicked new life into the beat 'em up genre because you had a few in the years leading up to this, but none of them like quite reignited it like Streets of Rage 4 did, and that's simply because even like in that crowd of them, I'd still say this might be the best one. But that's not to say anything of all the other games that have come out in the years since, because there have been some incredible brawlers that have spawned because of this game. But in like terms of sheer genre influence, it single-handedly delivered the CPR right straight onto the heart of beat 'em ups for the first time since like the 90s. Like I've never seen so many good ones all in one place. And you look at right where they all came from, and you'd probably like find the traces of Streets of Rage 4, right? Because that DNA is all over a bunch of games. Like what is it? What's it called? Marvel Cosmic Invasion that just
Yeah,
came
the new
out
one. Yeah.
is the same team as Turtles, who includes some of the same team as Streets of Rage. Like the DNA of this one is still in all of the good new ones,
Mhm.
which tells you just they clearly did something right here as a labor of love. And of course, Lizard Cube famously not been involved in any of those, but they've gone on to great things with the game that I'm sure is also on this list. But
Yeah,
they've
you're
just
right.
got such a gorgeous art style. I know it was very divisive at the time. A lot of people didn't like this art style. I still think kind of there is an element of that, but I think it looks so good. Like, does it fit
It's an
Streets of
amazing art
Rage?
style.
I'm still like a little up in arms as to whether it fits Streets of Rage entirely or not, but it's still very good looking. Like whenever I look
Yeah.
at just like still images and moving assets and things, like it's a gorgeous game in the way it looks and the way it plays and flows as well. Because once again, the other word evolution, because it builds perfectly on Streets of Rage 1 and 2 and figures out what worked and what didn't from 3 and brings in all these new elements like Mr. X's Nightmare, the DLC brings in like roguelite
Mhm.
elements, which all the beat 'em ups are doing now. So once again, first in Streets of Rage 4 technically, although I think like maybe Streets of Rogue or something beats that out, but
Yeah,
um,
but like a proper commercial release game,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
like this game, it's fantastic. If you've not played it, make sure you do. I think it was just. Is it still currently as this airs? I think it's on Humble Bundle this month
Okay.
for a pretty low price. I think it's been on Game Pass forever and probably on PS Plus and all these other services. So it's a really easy game to get into. I think it's even on iOS and Android now. So like,
Yes, it
no
is.
excuse to not just like pick this up because it's only an hour or two and one of the greatest brawlers of all time for sure. It's
Sure.
just 20, 30 years of progress distilled into this one game. Awesome game.
And I will add to this. We got this game at a very difficult time in our
Oh, yes.
collective history. It was 2020 was like a really really complicated year, and this was such a highlight of that year. It was such a highlight on like for me personally. I did a special episode on the game as well, with like an interview with Ben Fiquet from Lizard Cube, with Cyril from .mu. I was so hyped for this because I'm a Streets of Rage fan. This is one of those, keep saying this, that I have on multiple platforms. I have it on everything. So
What you're
it's
saying, Casey, is you spend too much money on the same game.
I guess I'm saying that as well, am I not? Yes, but I
It's an
do
admission.
I do take advantage of sales. So I'll be honest. But yeah, and the music is amazing. It's like some bits, maybe some of the songs and some of the people involved in the soundtrack. People needed to get used to it, but I think it fits perfectly with new art style and like an evolution of this series. And it again, like the CPR that not only the genre but the series needed as well, because we're getting another Streets of Rage game, hopefully, maybe
Any moment now.
at a moment now, 3D one. But it kept the series alive for Sega to notice it again and bring it back with another entry soon. TM Streets of Rage 4. Yeah. Okay. Streets of Rage 4, another one on our list. Up next, Lime, it's one of yours.
Ooh.
It's Yakuza Like a Dragon, another Yakuza game.
Yeah.
So do explain.
Well, I've only played 2 Yakuza games. I knew that I definitely did. There would be no hashtag anything. I heard a gasp, and there would be no hashtag anything. Just so you know, I
So
don't know
do
who
explain,
gasped,
yes.
That woke him
Please.
up.
but there would be nothing.
No judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment. No, only Yakuza. Sorry.
But
Yes.
yeah,
So-
speaking about having the favorite Yakuza game being the first Yakuza game, I guess that's the same thing for me, because Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is this game, is what I played first. And I just remember having just like a tiny little bit more moments in this game. I had moments with both Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Like a Dragon, but this had the edge for me, both when it comes to the story and just things that happen in the gameplay. So it got the tiny edge, and so that's why I picked this one. Of course, I needed to go with the Yakuza, because come on, it's Yakuza.
and it's also more of your style of gameplay, I guess, right?
I guess it is. Like, I am enjoying the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is not turn-based.
Mhm.
But I didn't...
Is that a Sega game?
No. I'm just making a comparison of something that is not turn-based that I did like, because I actually did not like the kind of gameplay, the kind of fighting gameplay in Zero as much. So I needed to go to another game to find that kind of gameplay that I did like. So it's not necessarily, I guess, that I like turn-based more, but you know, if it's not going to be turn-based, it still has to be done. I'm not going to say well, because this is probably just up to personal taste.
I wonder if it's
Yeah.
like because it's the first one you played specifically, Lime. You played the
That might
turn-based, so going back to the standard combat is
Yeah.
weird for you, whereas it was the other way around for everyone
Most
else, I guess.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So first, iconic in the way that it was the first Yakuza game that it's actually like the change to Like a Dragon in a way, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, like we can see here in the cover as well, right? Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then they went full on Like a Dragon in the next one. But also first one without Kiryu as a protagonist. So
Yeah.
first one with Ichiban, and first one to adopt what is now the mainline kind of gameplay, which is turn-based RPG. So great game, iconic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Ichiban as a
Another
character.
2020 game. So good year for games. Not a good year for many things, but for games, definitely a good year. Next up, Viper. You're on Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage 2021.
Right, I can make this a quick one because it's a decent
It's
game.
good. Moving on.
Yeah,
It's a decent game.
I still prefer. I'm a huge fan of the Project Diva series. I massively prefer a console game of that style. This is the compromise, I think, for this series. And the reason I've actually brought it up here is less my thoughts on it and more this is like a monolith title for Sega. Like it. I mean, you've done these financial reports and things on the Sega launch before. Like Puyo Quest, always like 10 years ago, you talk about that as being like, oh, that's the big earner on mobile. This game is like ridiculously huge all over the world. It absolutely like blew up in terms of like merchandise. I mean, there's loads behind me. It's not mine, but there's loads behind me. There was the film this year overseas. I think it was last year in Japan. It's like so many albums. Once again, some of those will be back there somewhere, but this game's like a really, really big earner, right? Like, look, there you go, the top shelf there, loads of stuff up there. But this game's a huge earner for Sega, and it's internationally, like, single-handedly almost recarried the Miku brand, I think, from like a kind of languishing brand, both in terms of Sega games and just like the general character, to this huge like $1 billion presence again. Who I'm going to controversially say, you wouldn't see her in all these things like Fortnite and with her own movie and things like this had this game not existed. And Sega have raked in billions and billions of dollars in the process of doing this. So even though I'm not as huge on it as a game as I could be, as I have been with like other Sega titles in this series, it's a very big game that's made a very big cultural impact within its circle. Like whenever you go to any vaguely Japanese related thing nowadays, there'll be some sort of Project Sekai / Colorful Stage collab. I see it all the time when I go to London. There's just loads and loads of stuff. The amount of times I've bumped into people and they're like wearing the shirts or listening to the music. I'm like, 10 years ago when they were making these games and they were just kind of not selling well on the market and barely even localizing them. Like this was a dream or whatever, right? But like they turned it around into a reality 5 years on, because I think it's 5 years this October. They managed to hugely turn this around. Personal things, I guess, that I completely didn't think I was going to bring up, but it's the reason I'm sat in this house right now with my partner. So this game, even though I'm not that big into it, it's also got some personal connections. So that's pretty fun.
Nice.
I'm just happy there's Hatsune Miku here. I considered one of the Project Diva games. Didn't know if for me they ranked as high as others on this list, but definitely an important franchise. I think very important for Sega, even though maybe like more classic traditional Sega fans don't recognize it, but it really is something big.
Yeah, and that's
as like a big phenomenon.
More than anything else on my list, where it's like, oh, this is important, but I really like this. This is like, no, this is just because of the importance. Like, it's something that won't get mentioned otherwise. So can. The enjoyment is talking about it more than it is playing it for me sometimes, I guess.
Okay. This next one, though, 2022, I think is quite enjoyable to play. It was not on my list, but it was on, I think, both Lime's and Jim's lists, I believe. At least Jim, for sure. Sonic Frontiers, right?
Yeah.
Right. I thought I'd put Disney Princesses for the EPCO. Actually,
easy
it's my final pick. Yeah, but now you mention it, Casey. Yeah, I think this was actually the only Sonic game outside of the Racing Transform that I put on my list, which was interesting. I did toy with Lost World, but then I thought I would get quite a bit of backlash for that. But I do.
I
maybe
would
that
kill
make
you.
I guess that would make my honorable mentions. But Sonic Frontiers, I'd rather listen to Lime talk about it, because I think this probably reignited like kind of what Mania did for the 2D Sonic. This kind of reignited what Sonic 3D was all about, I guess. But yeah, please take it away, Lime.
Yeah, for me, it just really changed the playfield when it comes to what a Sonic game can be. They added like this fighting mechanic. When I played it, like all of these, I call them puzzle elements to it. I called that at some point the game poetry, because it was just so beautifully made. The way the camera kind of just zooms through when you move through all of the grind things to get the memory tokens. Like, it was just so beautifully made that's exactly how I felt about it. They introduced amazing badass supersonic who just absolutely just cuts huge robots in half in like a way that I'm like, I'm making a very surprised face. And yeah, it just introduced so much that I absolutely loved, and I feel like it's going to be influential for future games. Already has, actually. So yeah, it had to be there. It has its rough edges, definitely, but it's an interesting start.
I think that right there is the reason why it should be on this list as well, even though I didn't nominate it. But it's the first step in a new direction, and they're doing something right. We can see the influence on the Shadow Generations part of Sonic X Shadow, and I'm guessing in like 5-10 years time, we're going to be talking about Frontiers as definitely laying the groundwork for what 3D Sonic became. Hopefully something good.
Please
Please
keep up the momentum.
Yes.
Lost World 2.
Wouldn't mind that. But
Me
okay.
neither.
Yeah.
Jim, don't make me yell at you. I don't like my voice like that.
Okay, this next one, 2024. So we were getting closer. So this was for many people like the best game. Many people actually outside of the Sega circle, the best game of 2024. And it wasn't on my list, but it would have been one of my honorable mentions. Was it not for Lime, sorry, who nominated this?
Me.
Not you. The proper Lime. Metaphor, everyone together.
Yeah,
now.
Viper, you're the fake
Metaphor, Refantasio. I've missed doing this. Yes.
That's why it's on the list.
That's why it would have been an honorable mention. But Lime, you pick this one. Please do enlighten us.
Yeah. I feel like I could, even though it's very similar to Persona. It's still like its own game. Maybe not fully its own universe. I really don't know how the canon is there, but like, yeah, I could pick this one. And I just feel like this, to me personally, has the gameplay edge, at least, over even Persona 5, in my opinion. I just like, I know that both, I think at least that both Persona 4 and 5 had this element that when you are stronger than an enemy, then you didn't like really need to fight it. But here, I think they are taking that and taking it a bit further, and I love that they did that. And so I think that they're really upping the gameplay with this kind of concept with this one. And so that's why I wanted to put it on the list.
Sure. And again, for impact, this is a very impactful game. Still, people are still talking about it to this day, 1 year in, and it's like, I know it's not a long time, but it's like
So long
we've
after.
we've had so many great games this year as well, like not even non-Sega games, and people still come back to Metaphor Refantasio as one of the greatest of all time. I would say I recognize a lot of like what Ryuga Gotoku did with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth in this, but this is definitely the superior game in terms of like a proper turn-based RPG, right? Infinite Wealth is an amazing game for like what Like a Dragon game is, with a turn-based RPG gameplay style, but this is like the proper thing, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like royalty, if you will. It's like better for Refantasio, right? Refantasio, and
It's top
like
tier.
and Like a Dragon Infinite, well, like yeah.
Yeah, that's tier 3.
But yeah, glad this made it onto our list for sure. Okay, final game, I believe, of 2024. We're getting really, really close to the end of this. No, it's not the final game, but there are two. There's another one. Sonic X Shadow
Plus, like,
Generations.
sorry, just to add like a small thing to the previous game. It also won a lot of rewards, and therefore definitely should be on this list.
Impactful. Yeah, sure.
Impact.
Yeah.
So next up, Sonic X Shadow Generations. I nominated this one. This is the one that kind of broke my rule of no like re-releases, no remasters thing. But I don't really think it should be. I see. It should be seen as that, because this really is its own thing, especially with the inclusion of Shadow Generations. In Shadow Generations, the Shadow Generations part of the game is the reason why I think it deserves to be here.
I think it definitely can count as its own game, like Shadow Generations.
Yeah. But I guess Sonic Generations, as much as I was like a bit harsh on it in the past, it truly is a very important Sonic game. But on its own, I wouldn't put it on this list, to be honest. With Shadow Generations, yes, because Shadow Generations feels like the next step in the Sonic gameplay, or 3D Sonic gameplay evolution. So it's like when we said before, Sonic Frontiers was laying the groundwork, was the first step. Shadow Generations builds upon that, and you start to see the influence of Sonic Frontiers, the importance of Sonic Frontiers in this. So that's one of the reasons, probably the reason why I think it deserves a spot on this list as a nominee for best game of these past 25 years. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Lime.
For me, it took the best, or at least it took amazing parts from Sonic Frontiers, and it took amazing parts from Sonic Generations, which has been my favorite Sonic game, and made it into one game. And I love how they did that. I think I've said on earlier episodes that hub worlds are usually not something for me with Sonic games. I haven't really enjoyed going around looking for the next stage and not really knowing where to go in a game like that. In this game, I just had fun with it. It was the first Sonic hub world that I've actually enjoyed playing, and so I just feel like they did it very well. Oh, Viper didn't like that?
He said he liked. The first he liked. Yeah.
I'm just trying
also-
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. I see now what you. Yeah, okay.
Like, quick shout out to everyone who ordered the limited run games edition, like collector edition, and is still waiting to play this game. Obviously, because no one really went on and played like bought digital version or whatever while waiting for that collector's edition. Because yeah, why would
As
you do
timely
that?
as ever.
So kudos. Yeah, my tip of the hat for you guys.
Like, this game's
Still waiting
out?
for this. We're talking about this as a 2024 game. I thought it was
Huh?
2026. Yeah. So great game, Sonic X Shadow Generations. If you're not one of those limited run game victims, please do enjoy this. If you are, wait a little bit longer. It's coming. TM. Next up, our last 2024 game, and another one of your picks, Lime, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. Dude,
Nice.
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble. Yes. Yeah, I had to have Super Monkey Ball on the list, I feel. And coincidentally, this is the only one I've played. Okay, that's actually not that's not 100% true. I did play some Super Monkey Ball 2. But I really sank my teeth into this one, and I just found myself enjoying trying to one shot the courses, the tracks. I don't know what you call them. And I just had loads of fun doing that. And so I know it's also a very popular franchise, and so it should definitely be on the list, I feel.
I was trying to find the Metascore for this. I'm curious now because I haven't looked in a while, but it's got a respectable 77 on Metacritic.
Decent.
Generally favorable. I think it was
Interesting.
better when we last looked at it,
Oh.
Yeah.
but okay.
I thought
But
it was in the
77.
80s, actually.
I think it was, yeah. But it's got a few, like, it's like 100, 90, 90, 90, 85, 85, 85. Like, I think it's
40.
probably, I think it's like the consensus is around the 80, 85. So 8.5 out of 10 for this game. My only gripe with this is like the multiplayer is not really.
Yeah, they could have done better with that.
They
Yeah.
could have done much better. And I guess they
Yeah.
promoted that as like the big thing, and it really wasn't. The single player was much better,
When it comes to
which is
multiplat,
fine.
right, guys?
Sorry?
Mm.
When it comes to multiplat, right, guys? Don't worry, they're delisting DLC. So
You were
not
betting
bad.
on the PC version. I
don't know
remember we
why.
talked about this because
I still
I
don't
think
know
there were
why,
some
though.
screenshots that leaked that
Yeah,
looked
but-
like it was a PC version.
Mm.
It definitely was, so I still don't get the reasoning why they've not bothered. It's money on the table. And now they've let it get to the point where the DLC is already delisted. Can't see them doing that. And
Strange.
I don't know.
God.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so we're now in our final year. It's this year, actually. 2025 makes sense. The final year of this quarter century. And we're starting with one of my picks Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And I think it's mine and Lime's picks, I think.
Yeah.
This is just an amazing game. This is, again, if we talked about Streets of Rage 4 as being like the CPR for Streets of Rage and for the genre, this is truly the rebirth of a series that was long gone. I guess not as long as Streets of Rage if you think about it, because you had Shinobi games on more recent platforms, but none of them made a splash as much as the Mega Drive or Genesis games did, which are still the most well regarded, the 90s ones. Shinobi Art of Vengeance is an amazing game in itself, like an amazing action game with very slight Metroidvania aspects to it, but it's not really a Metroidvania. I've seen people complain about like the non-linearity of the stages. They would have preferred it to be like the like Shinobi 3 or the Revenge of Shinobi, like a more linear left to right stage. These you have to go back and forth and like unlock parts of the level and do like little missions, side missions, and whatnot. I love that about this. It controls really, really well. It's like so fun, so rewarding when you like get all the combos and chain attacks
Yeah.
together. Really good. And I think the best thing about this is the art style. So it's a beautiful game. It's so amazing. It's like it's got Lizard Cube written all over it. I remember when we saw that like new era teaser back in the Game Awards. Was it like 2023 now? I guess.
Yeah,
2023
23.
sounds about right.
Yeah, and I knew from the get go this is Lizard Cube for sure, and we talked about this back
Yep.
then. And it's so good to like finally see that we were right, and Ben Fakey getting his flowers like for his art style. This is an amazing game. There's a Shenmue cameo as well. Ryo Hazuki is in Shinobi and other Sega references as well. We're getting DLC early next year with 3 like bosses, right? Sega boss, Dr. Robotnik, Death Adder, and
Majima.
Majima. Yes, because in my head Majima is not a boss, but it yeah.
Or a villain.
Or a villain, yeah. But I guess more of a rival, but it's okay. I'm
It's
glad
crazy
Majima isn't there.
Majima.
Yes. So definitely, I think, definitely my game of this year, for sure. Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And one of those that I don't now, but I will own for sure on several platforms. Lime, would you like to add anything about this amazing
I
game?
think you said everything already. I agree with all of it. Amazing gameplay. I love doing the combos. The art is amazing. The music as well are
T-Lopes?
masterpieces. Yeah, like so much love to T-Lopes. Like I love a lot of their music. Yeah, I'm surprised that some people wanted it to be linear. Usually, that's the complaint about a game.
Yeah.
That was me, I
Yeah.
think.
Traditional fans, like fans of the old school Shinobi
Yeah.
games, complained a little bit about it. But I think
Some
the
of them.
consensus is, yeah, I've seen that, but I think the consensus is it's a very good game. It's like the right amount of content. Yeah. Great stages, great level design as well. Amazing level design. Really
Yeah.
smart.
Mhm.
Okay, and that leaves us with one more game. Our final 2025 nominee, and I believe it was your nominee, Viper.
Yeah,
If I'm not
a
mistaken.
nominee that's you can't pick this yet, guys. Come on, this is way too soon to like determine whether this should be on the list. It's just
So then,
a
why
game.
did you pick it?
Yeah.
You guys said this like 2 hours ago when we were talking about Transformed. I'm fully on board with picking this, which is why I did it, because I don't know about the staying power right now, but if there is any, it's a hell of a good base for it. And even if
Yeah.
not, I still think that this title will go down in a similar way to how Transformed did versus, say, like a Team Sonic Racing. I think this game will still be talked about 5-10 years down the line, just like we were with Transformed, because already they've laid such a good baseline with it, and there's still way more to come, which Sega have been getting better at doing in their games. Since Transformed, because that was our biggest complaint with it at the time, and was for many years after. Was actually Transformed was okay, but we just more track DLC would have been nice. But otherwise, the character selection was pretty good. But here they've got everything covered. There's a really solid roadmap ahead of like what's to come with this, and even if not, even if they just left it as it is, it's still a very well made game. Gonna say it again, builds upon what's it, groundwork, what have I been saying this entire time, iteration, etc. But like There's so
Innovation.
much innovation,
Impact.
Innovation, yeah.
there's so much DNA of like not only the past Sonic Racing games since the first Sonic Racing from Sumo. There's also loads of like Initial D in there that they've been doing for 20 years now. So all of that knowledge in there, loads of love for Sonic. And even though I do wish there was more Sega love in here as well, for sure, there's still a chunk of it in each of those characters. It's not just like, oh, someone told us to put Knights in. Like, there's clearly we can see already a lot of love for like the Knights sub franchise in there, and the characters we already have are like Ichiban is so personality driven. Wish he had a voice, as I wish they all do, but they're even like just through the characters' actions, you can see there's a lot of love poured into them. So I appreciate that because we didn't even know that was going to be a thing going into the game, and I was pretty salty about that. But I'm still happy now. It's already like one of my most played games on Steam ever, and it's only come out this year. I suspect that's going to keep on rising as the years go on because it's infinitely replayable, which there's another one for you on the list. But already, like, I've played these tracks like tens and tens of times, and I'm not bored of them at all, which I can say compare it to Mario Kart World. I know low blows, this happens every time this game comes up, but I got bored of those tracks pretty quickly, and I have with so many other kart races, like even to a lesser extent the other Sonic kart races and things, but there's something about the way this game's designed that just keeps me coming back, not just like over the course of years like I did with Transformed, I'll hop in once a week or whatever, but like I just again and again log into this game and never feel bored of it in the 2 or 3 months we've had with it so far. So I'm not saying that's going to like permanently remain the case, but it's a good sign of it remaining fresh over the next few years of its short-term lifespan, and looking back fondly on it in 10 years, being able to jump back in and go, oh, I remember these courses, still feeling as good as they ever did or whatever you have you. So I don't know.
I
I
hope that's
think
the
it's
case.
got big longevity written all over it. It's too early to tell, like we've said, but I've got a good feeling. I don't know, more than other games
Mhm.
that have come out this year in the Sega catalog, because I guess they're not multiplayer focused or whatever have you. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
this one's going to stick around for sure. And I don't know about the 2050 version of this conversation. Maybe we'll be talking differently about it, but I think there's a chance, certainly.
I think there's another thing that you've been mentioning on about some of your nominees that also applies to this one. The importance of this in introducing Sonic to other people, like introducing the
Yes.
series and
True.
like even Sega. I've seen something that I think you, especially Viper, mentioned, and maybe Lime as well, how big it was that like Sega were doing these crossovers with SpongeBob, with Minecraft and whatever. I never really, I mean, objectively speaking, I understand, but I never really, in my heart, I always said, no, they should have been doing like Shenmue and Shinobi and Streets of Rage and stuff. But the truth is, recently I went on through the rabbit hole of like looking at comments for trailers for like new characters coming to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. And it's amazing how many people are like, I got the game just for SpongeBob. I got this game because of Minecraft. I got this game because of the non-Sega stuff that's in here. So I'm assuming this will still be a very important game, like in 2026 with the other characters coming. And I think this will go down in history as one of those that really sold the franchise, really sold like even other Sega franchises to people who were non-Sega fans before this. So I think that's also one of the reasons it deserves a spot on this list, even if maybe a little bit prematurely. But maybe
Yeah,
not. Maybe not.
something like this is never not going to be premature, but I'm hedging my bets. I think it's got a good chance of still being in the conversation when we're back here in 25 years and we're all a bit creaky.
If we're still here. Anyway.
And on that note,
And on that note, that's our final nominee for a game, SEGA Game of the Quarter Century. And quick recap, because this episode's running long already. Our nominees, our collective nominees are Phantasy Star Online, Shenmue 2, Sonic Adventure 2, Jet Set Radio Future, Space Channel 5 Part 2, Super Monkey Ball 2, Virtua Cop 3, Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast, Bayonetta, Valkyrie Chronicles, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Alien Isolation, Yakuza 0, Persona 5 / Royal, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, Sonic Mania / Plus, Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, Shenmue 3, Streets of Rage 4, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, Sonic Frontiers, Metaphor, Refantasio, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I think this is a pretty good list. I think it's a pretty good list.
The definitive Sega list.
For sure.
Of the last 24 years.
People listening to us, we want to know what your pick for like best or like top 3 or top 5 or whatever, or even your top 10 or list of 10 nominees would have been if you were on one of these seats. You were able to tell the world. For people wondering what the individual lists were like, here they are. So really quickly, mine was Shenmue 2, Outrun 2006, Valkyrie Chronicles, Alien Isolation, Yakuza 0, Sonic Mania, Persona 5 Royal, Streets of Rage 4, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Viper's list was Sonic Adventure 2, Super Monkey Ball 2, Outrun 2006, Bayonetta, Yakuza 0, Persona 5, Sonic Mania, Streets of Rage 4, Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Lime's picks were Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Persona 5, Shenmue 3, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Sonic Frontiers, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Metaphor Refantasio, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And finally, Skill Jim's picks, Phantasy Star Online, Jet Set Radio Future, Space Channel 5 Part 2, Virtua Cop 3, Outrun 2006, Bayonetta, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Yakuza 6, Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, and Sonic Frontiers. Okay.
Nice.
So these were our individual picks, but our list is here, our 27 nominees. I really want to hear from you guys watching this or listening to this. What did we do wrong? Nothing, obviously. What would have you done differently? Tell us.
Those are the kind of things that you don't need to ask a community.
They will tell us.
Comments about what you did wrong.
The fun fact, I think the most nominated game was Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. And I guess Persona 5 as well. Those got 3 nominations.
2 very different games.
Yeah, very different games. Yeah. Okay, so guys, our episode is running very long already, so we only got time to say goodbye and for you guys to tell everyone where they can find you. And we're going to mix things up by starting with Viper this time.
Oh, hi. You can catch me at thegreenviper8.lol on Blue Sky. There we go. Got it in. Everyone loves it every time.
Yes.
Aside from that, radiosega.net, pick and mix Fridays at 7 p.m. UK time, except probably the week you're listening to this, 9 p.m. UK time. Otherwise, that's about it, I think. Twitch.tv /thegreenviper8, I guess, is the big other one. Otherwise, see you somewhere here, probably, to be honest with you.
Next week, perhaps. Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps.
Okay. Lime.
Yes. Oh, you want me to plug all my stuff?
Sure.
Is that what you want? Sure. I am Lime Reversed on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, but mostly on Twitch. I have streamed a lot of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds recently, and I very recently got all of the S ranks in the time trials. So that was a huge accomplishment. Thank you. It was a fight. It was definitely a fight, but I got there eventually. So yeah, come and join me on stream for more challenges.
Excellent. Well done. And the return of the skill gym.
Right, yeah. So I'm going to mention two things, actually. I'll keep it brief. So if you want to follow my
Wait, we're in
Japan...
Yakuza. I just heard a siren.
Yeah, I
Okay,
hear
no,
it too.
Oh, yeah, we live quite close to a hospital, actually, so that happens all hours of the day. But yeah, so I'll mention two things. So the first one is, if you want to follow my Japan adventures, you can check out my YouTube channel, Skill Gym. I'm creating some vlog material there. There's 3 at the moment. I'm a little bit delayed on the 4th one, a trip that me and Switch did to Kamakura, which is really good. I can't wait to edit that and get that uploaded. So that's coming soon. And then the other thing I will promote is the Shemo Dojo show. So if you're into your podcast formats like this, me and Matt are returning with a brand new episode, actually released last night, I think it was. But we've got a couple more on the way. And a Christmas special upcoming that I'm excited about. So yeah, definitely check those out. Didn't even do the owl thing.
It was amazing.
You know you can turn that off, right?
Yeah. Skill Gym's got a new camera as well. Which
That's
keeps
zoom
I was
zooming in
keeping
and
full
out.
there and it
when it
zoomed in.
does a
I was like,
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So as for myself, this is the Sega Lounge. I'll be back next week with more. I probably should have led with that, but happy Winterfest to everyone listening into this. I believe this is our Winterfest special. It's supposed to be. So hope you're enjoying the event. Keep listening to all the other shows as well. That's why this episode came at a different time this week. But next week we'll be back at the regular time. So Thursday on Radio Sega, Friday everywhere else. And it's going to be our season finale. We will all be back, right, guys? Hopefully, we will all be back for our season, all of us, for our look back at 2025 in the world of Sega, as is tradition on this show. And also with news of the Game Awards. Was there a Shenmue 4 announcement? Was there anything Sega related announcement? Did Sega win all the prizes? Did 2 Point Museum win?
Clearly.
Was there a Sonic announcement?
Hopefully
I would
not.
want one of those.
What
did you say?
Lost World
Did you say
2.
hopefully not. Is that what you just said?
Lost World 2, yeah. I want other Sega stuff now.
Jim, I will slap you.
Other than that, please do like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like this, consider supporting the show as well. The SegaLounge.com/support. If not, just watching, listening is enough support. Do spread the word about this show. It's a labor of love for the past 11 years, and it's crazy how time flies. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. We'll be back next week. That's all I have to say. So thanks for listening, watching. Bye-bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.